The Dynamite Bros are on the mic. Yo, step into the stream, we are live on the air. The PGH show, you know why we're here. Double or nothing, just tore down the roof. And the Dynamite Bros are about to bring the proof. Our Knuckelbrew matching the energy and heat. A sold out arena, New York on its feet. We break down the chaos, the high flying risk. Smash the like button, let's get into the mix. Yeah. Everything on the line, yeah, the stakes are too high. Did Darby survive or did the...
Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to the Sports Jedi Network on your Monday, May 25th. Happy Memorial Day to everybody who celebrate. Going to give a special thanks to everybody who's, served. This today is we honor of those who've served us. So give a special shout out and everybody who celebrate Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day to everybody. We are here for your Double or Nothing AEW live here on a Monday. I am PGHChris. You guys know the deal. Very, very good show last night. We got a lot to talk about. New York City, I think the crowd always comes alive every time pro wrestling is in New York City. We're going to talk about that and much more. But first, you guys know that the Sports Jedi Network is always sponsored by Dude Wipes. Use our promo code. Text Dude, save 20 to 59463, and we'll send you a code for 20% off your order. The summertime is coming up. Dude Wipes, I've been getting my packs. I got all of them right here. You guys see it each and every day. Make sure you guys go check out Dude Wipes and the Sports Jedi Network, as well as Blackout Coffee. Make sure you guys go to Blackout Coffee, use your codes Rumble or Sports Jedi 20 to save yourself 20% off. And we will make sure you're hydrated with coffee or that caffeinated, nice lattes, dark, nice roast, whatever you like to make. Go to Blackout Coffee, get your beans, and we'll save you 20% off. And we will hear from our friends at G Fuel later on in the show. You can go always use your promo code PGHChris to save yourself 20% off. Guys, we are here for AEW Dynamite. I'm not alone. I'm here with my co-hosts on Wednesdays, co-host for AEW Reviews, Mr. Hoss Knuckelbrew. Hoss, how are you doing? Happy Memorial Day, man. Let's talk about some Double or Nothing.
That's right. That's right. Happy Memorial Day to everyone that celebrates. These guys, to the fallen and to the family of the fallen, who they paid the ultimate sacrifice for whatever reason that they did for us in this country that we call home. So shout out to them. If I had a bell, I'd give you a 10-bell salute. Let's have fun for Memorial Day. And when we come to Double or Nothing, I'm gonna just tell you this right now. The show was excellent. Yeah. I might nitpick just here and there, but I do not have any big problems with the show. And one more thing, I have to tell you this every time to our IWC watchers, to the sickos, please wash your ass. Please move your ass.
There you go.
I know you got, if any of you got inebriated last night, I'm going to tell you what the host did. The host was watching Double or Nothing right with you. I took double shots of bourbon, because there was nothing I could really complain about. Yes, I got drunk last night. I got my ass up. I lifted weights, and I walked 5 miles. So there's no excuse. Go move your ass today, and make sure you wash your ass today. I'm just telling you that. I'm going to remind you that every time you see me, I'm going to remind you of this. But let's get into it, Chris. Let's have some
There you go. I want to give a special shout to K. Famous Davis over at the Smoke Sessions. Brother, these are my brothers, and that's why I will retweet this live stream, because I muted that shit. LOL. Keep up the great work, Sports Jedi fam, taking over the horizon. We appreciate you, brother. Keep up the good work with the Smoke Sessions. Go check out their show from last night, After Dark, when they talk about the games. Really good stuff. I checked out some of it after Double or Nothing was over. Go check out the Smoke Sessions. Nap God, Dex, K. All those guys. Thank you so much. Animan, greetings, guys. How are you doing? I enjoyed the pay-per-view last night. So did we. We appreciate you joining me and Hoss here on a special Memorial Day edition of your Double or Nothing review. We hope you enjoy it. And good job that, we're happy you enjoyed the pay-per-view last night. I muted every word associated with W. My timeline was peaceful. No way you got drunk to AEW. Hey, sometimes Sometimes, K-Dot, that is the way to get through these shows. But a bad one at least. But we got our guy Samurai, who's in the building. He's always in the building with me and Hoss, especially on Wednesdays. We appreciate you, Samurai. We know you kind of had some double or nothing predictions and thoughts. So I hope you enjoyed it. What I mean by that is I wasn't sure if you were going to enjoy it or not. I don't remember how excited you said you were in the chat. So I'm happy you enjoyed it. I think a lot of people enjoyed it. And me and Hoss enjoyed it. So before we get into the show, before we get into the matches, buy-ins, a couple things came out of Double or Nothing last night, Hoss, after the show was over. I'll start off with this because the next topic will lead me into the actual review. Obviously, there's a big elephant in the room with, my apologies. See, my apologies, Anita. My apologies. I'm so sorry. I'm not the best with names. I apologize. I just wanted to make sure you got the shout out you deserved because you took your time, said hi to us. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Please enjoy the show, and we're always happy to have you here. So after the show last night, there was some subway drama. I'll go on my Twitter, and everyone's lined up in this all over the stadiums outside. They're trying to get into this one gate. A lot of people aren't happy trying to get in the subway. It's basically like a WrestleMania 35 all over again. I wasn't at WrestleMania 35 when they did. I watched it downstairs in my room, but I heard it wasn't it was very difficult to get in and out with subways and all that stuff. But I'm surprised that they even were out that late because, me and Kev talked about this earlier, right before we went live. We experienced something not to this degree in New York City, but I don't think a lot of people understand is New York City's arenas and buildings and venues, they're unionized. They're ran by the union. To give you guys just a tiny bit of behind the scenes here, where without mentioning names, when we went to Slammiversary, you guys know me and Kev were at Slammiversary. We met up, we did our Slammiversary's prediction shows together in person. We had a very fun weekend. We were supposed to be, we were supposed to get that TNA experience. I'll just say that, and we couldn't because we had to get union members to get us in. It was just a whole hassle. We were on the list to go in early. It's just, they're very strict in New York City with unions. Slammiversary ended they have to be out of there at a very specific time. So, I know a lot of people were coming at Tony and AEW for that. Start your shows at 7:00. And I think, your fans because to us, right, we don't care. I'm not dealing with that. I can go to bed at 12 right after the show's over. But for your audience, 15,000 people, 14,000, whatever, that paid money and went, you could start your show maybe in an hour and a half earlier so they can make their subways and train stations, they can make them. But I see this as a New York City problem. I see this as a union problem. I see this as an arena problem and less than an AEW problem. Hoss, I just wanted to throw that out there because me and Kev do have experience, going to wrestling shows, traveling in New York City. Now, the UBS Arena is fucking beautiful. The UBS Arena is not in the city, not any of the lame boroughs like MJF said on the announcement, like Justin Roberts said. So it was beautiful. In and out, no problem. But, when they're in a city like Queens, Hoss, I can understand, why some of the audience members could feel like, this was a great show, but getting home was just such a fucking disaster.
This shows you the downfall when you go to live events. I know a lot of people have been dealing with this over the years, but in 2026, you need to have that leeway of like, I need to have time to go catch my Uber or catch my train. The people like AEW, Tony Khan should factor that into the show. We do not just get online and just say, start your shows earlier. Man, do us a favor. We don't do this for no reason. We want the whole fan experience to be great for everybody. not just for people at home like we are. The people who spend their hard-earned money or travel cross country, cross the world to your show, they should have an experience that's good after the show as well. So that's why we come at Tony Khan like that. We're not just saying it just for the hell of it. This is where you're supposed to be, work as a wrestling family. And I know a lot of wrestling fans, they have a selfish streak to them. They're like, I enjoy it, and it only matters to me. Everybody else be damned. Well, that's the problem. You need to care about your fellow brother and sister and graps. And they had a rough experience after watching a grand show. And that kind of sours the experience. It may not sour it a lot, just say it was a bad show, but you're going to remember that when you go to another show in the future. Like, oh man, I may not be able to catch my taxi. I may not be. I better make a new plan of how I'm gonna get back to my hotel, how I'm gonna get to my Airbnb. So hopefully Tony Khan takes that into account for the next show. Think about the people that are spending their money. Just be for real. Like I complained that the shows are too long. This show was actually perfect for me, but that was for different circumstances that we're gonna get into. But yes, just consider how people need to get back to their destinations after leaving your show. That's all we're talking.
Yeah, because one thing about like a Slammiversary, I'm just bringing that up, right? Because that's the show I have the experience going in New York, or even like a Queens, right? People are catching trains now, and they're very weird timing, and I had to experience that as well. It's I mean, I don't know how it is in New York, so I can't comment too much about that. But the one thing I will say is like when this is a big show, like a Double or Nothing, where people are I'm not saying it's WrestleMania, right? Where people are traveling from all over the country coming to a 15,000 seat stadium. No, but you're going to get a lot of Pennsylvania. If you're not counting local, right? You're going to get the Pennsylvania, you're going to get some New Jersey, maybe some Maryland, like the Northeast area, like Connecticut, maybe down more. Mm-hmm. They're going to be traveling for the show because it's not too far. Buses aren't too like whatever. My point is, they're not all locals. So I don't know if when it comes to making these shows, or the people that are supposed to be doing that type of stuff, where it's like, okay, well, they're locals, walk the boroughs, walk the streets, or you'll find your way. It's not everyone does that. People travel. Yeah. Myself, if I was there, I would have to find my way back to Manhattan, because that's where Penn State. I would have to take the subway from Queens, Jamaica, whatever the fuck, back to Penn Station in Manhattan, and then I have to wait for my train to go back to Pennsylvania. Like, I've experienced that. So they need, and like Hoss said, you got to try to think about your audience there, accommodating them in and out. But that's all I got for that.
It's a safety issue. That's the biggest thing that comes down to it, because you got people that are inebriated. They may be unhinged. It's late at night, and they don't know how they're going to get where they need to go. So that's just something to consider, like, because we do not want people out here, getting hurt at your event.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Ladies and gentlemen, Hoss, you ready to start the Double or Nothing review? Ready to get in some of the stuff? Before we talk about the buy-in, let's start off with this. They went on the air, mm-hmm. and I'm looking at now again. I talked about this backstage with Kev. He's a New Yorker, so I wanted to ask his opinion about what he thought of that too. I understand with the when the stage, how New York has like those railings where like the construction things. I thought it gave the stage, the wrestling show, a little bit of a New York feel. I thought the stage presence was fun. I thought the stadium looked well. Even when the crowd, like, I'm not talking about when the crowd was there. I mean, you just look how the stadium was built, the ring, the way it looked. I thought it looked cool on TV. So that was kind of like, okay, cool. Just real quick before I get into the buy-in, what you think of the whole stage presence, the aesthetics of the stadium when you first saw the show? Because I think a lot of people were curious to see, and I even on my own, I did a stream about Steelers football right before Double or Nothing, and I went on Google 360 Google. I wanted to see what this was going to look like, what the stadium, like. What did you think when you first saw it? How did it look?
It gave it a real authentic New York feel. I enjoyed it because it it made you feel like, even though we weren't there, it made you feel like you were there. Like even to the replays when they showed the street signs that said replay, it was very New York-esque. So if you've ever been in New York, you can see exactly when they were going with that aesthetic. I enjoyed it. It made it a more personable feel.
Yes, I agree. Monkey D. Brazy, appreciate you joining here. Me and Hoss on the Monday, Memorial Day here for Double or Nothing. Yeah, no, I agree. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I don't know if I enjoyed these though. Let's get into the pre-show matches. They did a quick, because there's something on this pre-show that I thought was cool. But it definitely wasn't in any of the matches. The Divine Domain, Megan Bayne and Elena Cross defeated Zeta Steele and Vita Van with Christopher Daniels, and it was like a 5-minute timing tag team match to get the show started. Hoss, what did you think about that? Obviously, 5-minute win. We know Elena Cross and Megan Bayne were going to win. I think this was just something to get Zeta Steele and her tag team partner a showing at Double or Nothing.
Beautiful women. This woman just tell you, beautiful women.
Yep,
the
I
best
agree.
best thing I can tell you. The 5-minute survival pool that the Divine Domain are doing now is kind of playing itself out, because I believe I'm under the assumption that they're going to have these belts until All In.
Yeah,
that's at the end of August. So you're going to have to give them really something to really do, because you're going to run through a whole lot of women through these 5-minute survival pools that go nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know that they're on a collision course for the Brawling Birds. We know that's coming. But we got a long way to the end of August. So please give the Divine Dominion something that they can really do. I know you want to make them look strong, but it's a long way to just keep it doing these. So other than them just being fine women, I didn't have much for this match. So yeah,
I agree. We had the Death Riders, Claudio, Daniel Garcia, and Wheeler Yuta versus the Ops, Anthony Bowens, Hook, and Shibata. The Ops win, or excuse me, the Death Riders won by pinfall. Haas, anything on this one? I again, these matches didn't do anything for me, bro. I'm gonna be honest. We're gonna see Claudio in the Owen, so I don't care about seeing him before, and I don't care about Hook. This is they're in Hook's backyard. This is to get Hook on the card.
To go back to what I see Anita got here, she says she's happy to see the women wrestle. I'm happy to see them too. It's just I want good booking for them. And I want better booking for them.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to just see worthless matches. That's all. And that goes across all promotions.
Yeah.
Like, because there's only so much you can do with just random matches. If you gave the Divine Dominion some very strong storytelling to go with how big they're presented, it'll be a more enjoyable watch for everybody concerned. So I don't want to seem like I'm brushing them off or being.
No, I hear what you're saying, because to me, if that division is at its strongest, when I mean Britt Baker doesn't have the drama going on, Mercedes is there, Statlander's actually something, it's Tony Storm, Megan Bayne if she's built legit, Willow, they have a cool and steady women's division. Their bookings just suck.
Yes,
it showed that in the 4-way match later on, which we'll talk about, but. The booking is just not there. There's not. Tekla's really the only person that I gravitates toward a little bit, and honestly, I'm starting to slowly. Okay, I need to see more from her. I can't just see the toxic bitch every fucking week.
Yeah, because when we talk about women's wrestling, and it's not just exclusive to this show. It comes off as dismissive because the booking's not great for them. And that's all. In truth be told, the booking ain't great for most men matches either. But the men's matches have a different presentation, if you will, that comes with it. When it comes to the women, they really need a story-driven thing to keep them going. And because this is a male-dominated genre. And that's just the truth. And if you want males to watch the women wrestle, just to see past your looks, you need a story to go along with it. That's all I got with that one. And to go back to the trios match that followed it, I have nothing for these heel versus heel party matches. I have nothing for them. They're trying to get Anthony Bowens over with the Ops. It's not working because Hook is not over, and Shibata is just Shibata. Shibata's a good wrestler, but he doesn't bring anything to the table that can get Anthony Bowens over. And that's the biggest thing. They're really trying to get Bowens as a member of the Ops. The Ops is a faction truthfully, it died when Hobbs went over to WWE. To me, like it really died then. And when it goes to the Death Riders, if it's not John Moxley and probably Pac and Marina Shafir, they're just guys. They're just guys.
Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta aren't shit.
Yeah, they're lackeys, and they're on the small end, on the short end of the lackeys. So you don't care really to see them wrestle. I mean, you want them to have work, you do, but they need something that really matters. Like you got all these men in this faction, they're like the Don Callis family. We only care about 4 or 5 of their members, and it's like 100 of them. So this trios matches wasn't that tough for me. I really skipped it, honestly.
You want to know what else I skipped? Boom and Doom versus Shane Taylor Promotions.
I saw your video, and that was all I saw.
Shout out to Viva Coca, baby. I got a I got a whole supply of Viva Coca downstairs. My grandpa is obsessed. He drinks 1 or 2 a day. So I had to, celebrate with the mascot. I had to celebrate with the fucking Cookie Man, the Cookie Monster, Big Boom Justice. Look, let's just be thankful he's never on the main cards. I don't want to see him, period. He's Mr. Buy-in for this company at this point. And dude, the Rizzler, you're telling me the Rizzler has, if Harley Cameron and who the fuck else was out there? Harley Cameron and whoever the hell were out there arguing over the Rizzler. What do I need to do to get some of these women? Shit, the Rizzler's out here having Harley Cameron fight over him. Like, this is what we're fucking doing now?
Envious.
Rub your double chin. Rub your double chin.
I'm telling you, I'm very
envious. Ladies and gentlemen.
The Rizzler, he had the best view of the night when it came in from the buy-in. Shout out to that kid there. He's living his dream.
Yeah.
He was right next to 2 beautiful women arguing over him. The dream of most men. This is how old is the Rizzler? 14, 15?
Like 8.
He's 8. Look at him.
The kid, Big Justice is probably like 13, 14.
Okay.
The Rizzler, the little short kid, like he's probably like 8, 9 years old.
The Rizzler is not going through puberty yet. And he got women fighting over him.
He got Harley tits out of all people.
Yes. We love Harley Cameron. She's a favorite of this place.
Oh,
a favorite.
Boy.
Yes.
She's your future TBS champion, Hoss.
I really hope so. If it ain't her, she be Mina Shirakawa. You know how I feel about it.
Well, we'll talk. Hey, we'll talk about her later on. Don't you worry about that, because I actually thought she looked better than any of the matches she's had recently against Athena. So, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. Yeah, little dude, 8. How old is he? I'm googling his ass right now.
The fact that we could Google the Rizzler.
How old is the Rizzler? Oh my, he's 10 years old.
10. Tough 10.
So we were both wrong, and we were both in the middle.
He's getting argued.
10 years old.
He had 2 10 women arguing with him.
He just turned 10.
What a birthday gift.
Oh my God.
Gift. Having 10 out of 10 women argue over him. Yeah, shout out to him.
Hey, Harley Cameron, nice cats.
There you go. Miss Harley Cameron. All she needed was the puppet. And that would be good. No, one thing I liked about this pre-show.
She could ask the Rizzler, hey, tell me where the puppet touched you.
Oh, jeez. One thing I liked about this pre-show was the MJF Mick Foley. Now, I didn't expect MJF to come out there when you Hoss, and I tweeted this right away. MJF's a fucking star. I mean,
yes.
When you heard him, no, you saw everyone stood up and immediately got his, like, I was like, whoa. And then, like, it wasn't anything crazy. Like, Mick Foley didn't say anything crazy. MJF didn't say anything crazy. I thought this did a good job of setting up for that main event, because you had Mick Foley, who's telling, a sicko. You have telling Darby, the modern day sicko, to go win it for the weird ones. And then you have MJF and Mick Foley, who have teased this before, both in their backyards. Mick Foley looked happy when MJF made the comment about the Knicks. Mick Foley looked like I missed this shit. Like, I'm not saying Mick Foley's like, oh my God, Mick, no. But this was a great way, in my opinion, to set up for your main event, Hoss. I liked what they did here with Mick Foley, MJF. Again, it wasn't too much, but this got people amped up for the main event. That's why people were there anyway, for that match, mostly. So I thought this did his job to get ready for. It's better than having a fucking pre-show match bleeding into the main show. Very happy that didn't happen.
Yes, this is a fine way of ingratiating Mick Foley into the AEW ethos. And then you got him immediately. He gets entangled with the biggest star in the company. This was great. And the thing about it is, I was dismissive of Mick Foley's involvement in the pre-show. I'm glad they had him do something other than make predictions and just talk commentary. You got him into the show. He came and he gave you the signature catchphrase. You saw. He gave you all shades of Foley. You saw some Cactus Jack. You saw some Dude Love. And you saw some Mankind. Bang, bang. You got all of that. And it really inspired Darby Allin. And it just showed you, again, how big of a dick MJF is. So this was good from all angles. It was fun. And like I say, it was not, after all those buy-in matches, I mean, whether you liked them or not, this was the best part of the buy-in. Yeah. It gave you a reason to watch the buy-in. Yeah. So I want more of this going forth when I watch AEW television. I mean, especially the pay-per-views. Yeah. I know the 0 hours and everything, you know. I understand it's for the wrestling zealots, the wrestling sickos. I understand that. But if you really want people to be tuned in for those, you know, the pre-show, give us something like this to lead us into the pay-per-view. This was great.
This was good. This was good. I want to give a shout out to Aaron Loves Wrestling. Thank you for joining, Aaron, on a Monday afternoon. Happy Memorial Day to you. Hopefully your vacation's going well. Double or Nothing was awesome. 11 out of 10 hard choice between Moxley versus O'Reilly, Ospreay versus Joe, Swerve versus Bandito. Those were 3 good matches. I can't wait for Forbidden Door. Glad Foley is with AEW. Again, I'm not saying Moxley and O'Reilly was a bad match. I just don't care for either of them. But Ospreay and Joe, those 2 matches were really good. I agree with that. I hate to say, Miss Foley, Baby Boy deserves to get some type of role. I know a lot of people. Hoss, how would you feel if Mick Foley played a GM role in AEW? Do you think AEW needs that GM role? Do you think Mick Foley fits it with his experience on Monday Night Raw? How do you think they should present Mick Foley going forward in AEW? Or should they keep him doing stuff like this?
I would enjoy him being an authority figure. You know, he'd be a face commissioner. And I know a lot of people say that's a WWE trope. But the thing about it is, it would give Dynamite and Collision more connective tissue. Yeah. And I'm not saying make it all about Mick Foley, of course not. But we need some levity between all the matches. You're gonna get your action. That you're gonna get that every Wednesday and Saturday night. I just want that commissioner or authority figure to come in there and give us a nice story that threads all throughout the TV show. That's all we're talking about it. Because if that makes it a good TV show, you get great wrestling every week. I have to say this because we get attacked because we have been critiqued AEW so much. I have to say it every week. You get good wrestling on both television shows, but the fact it's still a TV show. So it has to be an enjoyable experience for the people that love wrestling a lot, and it has to be a good experience for people that love wrestling that want good connective stories in between. And I'm not saying that the angles and stories always hit at AEW, but the fact that they are trying right now, it shows you that growth is happening. So, and to send this on home, Mick Foley we got a lot of heels are running the shows right now. If you get this nice face commissioner to come in, it'll have those heels in check. So yeah, I would like Foley as a commissioner. I would like that.
And you said something important there. I want to give a shout out to Ben Dover. Thank you so much, Ben. I see what you did there. Ben. All right, Ben. You know, I'm not gonna Dover. I'm just kidding, man. Thank you, Ben, for joining the review here on the chat. Appreciate you, man. Me and Hoss both appreciate it. You said something important though, because Mick Foley coming out there and being like a GM or something, I would like that. And because again, you say that this comment right here, Mick Foley could store order. Hoss, am I the only person, especially after this pay-per-view? Because again, you're not going to hear this. If you're expecting this to be like a Wednesday show where I'm just going to sit here and say this was boring, this meant nothing, I'm not. This pay-per-view was very enjoyable. I fucking enjoyed the hell out of it. 8.5 out of 10. And I'll give you my reasons why. But I loved it. I loved it. But I have to say this, Hoss, it feels like every time I watch an AEW pay-per-view and I turn on Dynamite, it's like I'm watching two different fucking companies. Mm-hmm. It's like I'm watching two different products. Mm-hmm. I heard a couple people say this, and I don't know if I might agree with it. I don't know if I fully do, but I think Tony Khan has been putting the best pay-per-views recently in wrestling. I'm not now again. Pay-per-view, meaning I have to spend $50 without a subscription to pay for your product. I think Tony Khan has been doing that very well, better than anybody in wrestling. But the TV shows just do not add up to these fucking pay-per-views, Hoss. That's the one thing I want to bring up before we get into the actual review, because you said something that hit it on the head, and I think James Jones here said something too. Where Mick Story could store, because again, these pay-per-views are excellent. Their storytelling's there in these matches and the pay-per-views. You can feel they do a hell of a job of giving us backs, or when they transition from the matches and they give us the video packaging. They do that they did that so well last night. Mm-hmm. But this has to translate to weekly television now. Yes. Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes sense completely. The biggest thing, this is a problem when it comes to all wrestling on the big promotions on television these days. Weekly television is for builds. You're gonna get your mid-tier wrestling. You might get a main event in wrestling here and there, but that's what it's about, building up to these pay-per-views. So if you do your weekly television correctly, don't just bombard us with bangers of matches. You do not have to win us over with the graps. We know when AEW says we're the best wrestle, we understand that. That's a fact. Your matches, when we compare it to other promotions, they're not really comparable. You're over on that one. That's where you're over at with wrestling. The thing about it is, if you do your weekly television correctly, the builds will just come in just ever so graciously for the pay-per-views. Now, when your pay-per-views, you're 10 out of 10. You don't fail us on the pay-per-views. Some might go a little long, but that's just a nitpick. That's one of my nitpicks. A lot of other people, they like to watch 6 and 7 hour pay-per-views. God help you. But yes, for me, they might go a little bit long. But the pay-per-views in total, they hit. And they tell their stories in those pay-per-views as they should. They're very enjoyable. So when you said it seems like it's two different shows, two different universes, you are correct by that, because Tony Khan, he puts his foot in the food in pay-per-views. That he does that. When he can work on his builds for Dynamite and Collision. That's the big thing there. So with Mick Foley in there, it could really be something. You can make it special. And I said this a few weeks ago. I said that AEW is one good book year from overtaking SmackDown. I still believe that. If they can sit up here and they capitalize off this Double or Nothing, going into the next Double or Nothing next year, a strong year of booking, SmackDown will be compared to Dynamite. I'm with that one. But yes, I gave this pay-per-view a 9 out of 10. We're gonna get into it. Let's have some fun with that.
Yes, let's have some fun. We're gonna get into the main card right now, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to give a shout out to Devin, the Tribal Chief. What's up, fellas? AEW Dynamite's always struggle with weekly episodic television. Not always. I do think, it's just one of those things where, like, they'll have a good show, they won't have a good show. Just kind of inconsistent. I just would like a little consistency of decent shows, a good show, maybe a bad one, if that makes sense. But thank you, Devin, so much for joining me and Hoss on this Memorial Day for AEW Dynamite, brother. Really appreciate it. Dynamite, Collision, and pay-per-views have been great this year. AEW is doing great in 2026. I'm enjoying every week. Yeah, I think their pay-per-views have been great. Been pretty solid all year. Don't watch Collision, and Dynamite has been love-hate relationship with me. So let's get into the main card, because again, me and Hoss, big fans of this show. I thought This is how you open a fucking pay-per-view. Did you see that crowd hot to Adam Copeland starting off the show? Christian Cage comes out, and then FTRs just get swarmed with boos. Oh my God, dude. That was the opening entrances alone. Again, disclaimer, I'm going to sound like I'm glazing, but when I'm here shitting on the product, it's praise. So just it's going to be very positive from me, people in the chat. Sorry. You might not be used to that, but that's just what it is. I thought the entrance alone made you want to watch the match with the crowd. The crowd was the real MVP of this show, but they helped this opening match really, really get started. A lot of weapons were used throughout this match. Of course, it was an I Quit match involving Copeland. He likes to, ever since he's been in AEW, he's been thinking he's in his 20s again. But no, there was blood early on. Christian Cage was asked if he quit, and he said, "I banged your mother." So the fans started chanting that, and then Cage said, "Go fuck yourself" later on. And then Cash Wheeler got the crowd and Hoss, real quick, I like that. I like when they do the little things during I liked it because you got the crowd involved. You could really hear the crowd really get involved in the match. So, yeah. Make sure you go to Krispy Kreme and use Sports Jedi, code Sports Jedi 20. You'll get yourself a discount on all the glazed donuts. You can get a half dozen, a dozen, courtesy of PGHChris. I just want to make sure you have extra glaze on your glazed donuts. I just want to make sure I'm giving you that common courtesy, pal. You got the donuts right here. You got the glaze coming right out of me, buddy. But no, I enjoyed it. Again, Cash Wheeler and FTR, Dax. I'm not big fans of them personally, but I do give them their respects as a tag team. Hopefully this feud is over. I thought Beth Copeland coming out there was good because considering the fact that Dax is, this whole thing really started with Dax beating up Beth. For her to come out, do the save, and she was involved. I mean, we got Stokely and Cash going to the fire table. I really enjoyed this opening match. Got the crowds hyped up. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, your new World Tag Team Champions. Hoss, talk to me. What did you think about this opening contest? As I just laugh my ass off in this comment section. Wow.
The formatting for this was very good. The way you started this off with this match, they knew what to do. They knew the assignment. They got up there. They were singing to Adam Copeland and the Metalingas. Was great. Was fun. The funniest thing that would happen in this when Christian had his hand inside the cinder block, and what was that? Cash up there hitting it with the chair, and I'm like, no, that was Dax. Whatever. Yeah. It was weird. Though. I'm like, what is this? Why are we doing this? Because it looked like he hurt himself banging the chair. Yeah, it made sense because you're hitting a cinder block, genius. But match.
Oh yeah, that was stupid.
Yeah, and then you kept getting the microphone talking about what you gonna do. Ask him. I'm just like, because I was wondering how this was gonna work in a tag issue. Every time we get I Quit matches, they're singles matches. So I think this was my first time seeing a tag team I Quit match, and it went off without a hitch really. And we got Beth Copeland coming out with a major pop, coming out there. Another nitpick. I'm tired of men and women having these physical interactions. It's a little too tough for me.
I agree.
When Beth got through into the steps, I'm like, oh,
yeah.
The whole thing you gave her a spike pile driver and broke her neck. That's the story that you said. Now you're throwing her into steel steps. We don't know how she's recovered well. You look tone deaf. But anyway, that's neither here or there. We got Spike to come back. I called that in our prediction. I said that he was gonna come back and he was gonna show himself. And Beth, she moved those steps, brought Spike out, and got Dax to say I quit. And I love the way that Cope was up here signaling to Beth to go do certain things during the match. If people noticed that, how he was moving his hands and like making little whistle noises and stuff, just to signal to Beth, go do this, don't do that. It was a very good booked match. I enjoyed it. 10. This was a 10 match. They started off so fucking hot, and that's how you set the tone for your pay-per-view. They really did that. And I was about 2 shots in. I went to go give me another shot. I'm like, this was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, and they like James Jones said in the chat, they definitely tore the ring up in this first match. I mean, they unscrewed the whole top rope, and I enjoyed it. It was about 20 minutes, not that much, or no, the second match was about 20 minutes. This was about like 20 minutes. No, this is about 20 minutes as well. This is about 20 minutes as well. Again, not too much blood, I think. Not even throughout the whole show. I think we know that because I guess Tony said the New York State Commission wouldn't really let it happen. So that's fine. Don't really, I don't care for it much anyway.
Thank you, New York. Thank you.
Right.
If we did not have that rule last night, we would have got blood in like 5 or 6 matches. It would have been overdone.
Yep,
so the fact that we only had color in one match and it came the hard way, it worked. So shout out to New York for bringing AEW, reining them in just a good bit, and it added to the pay-per-view.
Shout out to the New York State Commission, man, for covering in clutch.
That's right. New York all day.
Speaking of New York, guys, tonight, if New York Knicks fans, New York basketball fans in general, tonight is the Eastern Conference playoffs. Kev will be live, or actually Eastern Conference Finals. Kev will be live doing the commentary play-by-play tonight on the watch long here on the Sports Jedi Network. So we're on the New York scene. I will root for the Knicks because Carmelo Anthony is one of my favorites during the playoffs if my Phoenix Suns are not in it. So go check out Kev tonight with this NBA commentary tonight here on the Sports Jedi Network. Speaking of Go New York, I like the theme they got going there too. I like the theme they got going on. Shout out to the Knicks. Shout out to Kev. We are going to turn this shit up tonight. Well, he is. AEW, NWA. Okay, yeah, I heard you say that already. New York made James Fulton fold their baby. I know Moxley was beefing with the New York State Commission last night. But Hoss, on a real note, I'm when this match was over and I'm sitting to myself, I'm like, how the fuck is any match gonna top this? Like, we started off so high. I'm like, okay, they got Takeshita and Okada. I saw the graphic. I was like, this is going to be a good match. I just don't think the crowd's going to be personally and as hot invested because they were just, we got two legends, whatever. Holy hell, was I wrong?
Literally, we just saw a table on fire. So yeah, it was hot.
Yeah, no, yeah. I thought them doing that was that, they got the crowd excited early. I was like, damn, I wonder how the crowd's going to be later on. I was wrong. Takeshita and Okada, the opening bell, again, I'm not saying it to this extent. I'm not comparing the two. I watched Danielson and Omega Arthur Ashe Grand Slam. That's what it felt like. And for those two guys, they're probably like, well, you saw it on Takeshita's face. Like, we're two Japanese guys in an American promotion, and we have 15,000 fans going crazy for us. I thought this was, I thought the crowd made a lot of these matches, made a lot of these moments. But I liked the match. It was very back and forth. The crowd chanted "fuck Don Callis" really loudly out of nowhere. Takeshita got some offense, hit with some superplexes. I think Takeshita does some very, very good superplexes, by the way. But it was a good match. Takeshita hit the elbow. 1, 2, 3. We have a new international champion, to coach named Takeshita. After the match, Kyle Fletcher comes out and first off, I liked it. I think, and because you said something on Wednesday, Hoss, the mid card division. I think Kyle Fletcher has been missed since he's been injured. I think that's why you kind of think the mid card division is not really solid. But he comes out, hugs Takeshita. I'm not gonna lie, they got me because I'm saying to myself, no, he's going with Callis. He's going with Callis, and then I'm like, they did the music. I liked how that heel turn was done. I very much enjoyed it. But the match was good, back and forth, and they gave us a moment after the match. Hoss, what'd you think about the match, and what'd you think about the moment that followed with Kyle Fletcher after?
Another 10. Another 10. Yeah, we got another 10 match. And with Takeshita and Okada, they've been charged with being boring, not being that charismatic, and not being able to just build a match because it seemed like the build has gone on forever. When they got in that ring together, and like when you say when they heard that crowd, I think Japanese pride kicked in. They like, hey, we're gonna put on a fucking spectacle for these people, and they did that. They started off slow. We got chain wrestling. Then they started getting into their power moves, and then you just saw the highlight of Takeshita just showing all of his offense. And then Okada was fighting for his life with his offense, trying to get that Rainmaker over. Honestly, I saw probably the best Rainmaker I've seen from Okada when he did it on the apron. That was great. Like Takeshita sold the hell out of it, and it looked like it fucking hurt. So when they did that, and then you got Don Callis involved when Okada was trying to do a tombstone power driver on the outside, and Don said, "No, we cannot let one of our assets be destroyed." Just for Takeshita to get up and do a brain buster out there, and he's wagging his finger at Don Callis. I do what I want. That was great, and then. In the moment, they kept saying fuck Don Callis the whole match. But this really shows you that Don Callis does really care about the Don Callis family. He's like, hey, both of these guys are precious commodities to me. I can't let them kill each other out here. They can have a match. They just can't be out here brutalizing each other. He tried. He honestly tried. It humanized Don Callis. It made him look like damn near a face for a second, just for a quick second. Like, this man has a fucking heart. Don Callis? Really? But yeah, this match was tremendous. And then we got to the point where Okada got up off a knee lift, coming up at 1. And like, they got very disrespectful with each other, in a respectfully disrespectful, if that makes any fucking sense in wrestling. That's what we got. And Okada, you could see to his face, like, he was really enjoying what Takeshita was putting on. He's like, I don't mind putting you over because you're fucking great. And Takeshita, he is a top 3 in-ring wrestler in the world. I will give him that. If he could cut a promo, he would probably be arguably the best wrestler in the world. So
he's phenomenal.
Yeah, the guy is great to watch. The talent is there. Man got moves for days. And Okada didn't turn the clock back, but you saw that he actually gave a damn last night. He's like, yes. He like, my reputation's on the line. And I will say this. I may not watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, but if anybody who came in watching AEW for the first time and they saw those two guys go at it, they'd be like, let me try New Japan now. If that's what they're producing over there, let me give them a try. Because I love wrestling so much. Let's give them a try. So that they reached every objective with this wrestling match. 10 out of 10. And when Fletcher coming out at the end with the heel turn, I said in our prediction video Wednesday, I thought Takeshita was going to end up going with the Elite because he's going to need someone to talk for him.
Mm-hmm.
He still is going to now you got the whole faction coming after you. You got Takeshita he's on an island by himself, and he's got Kyle Fletcher, Okada, and the rest of them going to come after him. So who's going to help him out? Because he's the new title holder. He's not going to be long for that title if he doesn't have any help. Because you know how the Don Callis family rolls. They come in there and they bring screwdrivers.
I just can't think of, like, when you look at the factions in AEW, like, you see the Death Riders, like, you don't know if they're heel or face, right? But they seem more heel. They kind of have their thing with Ospreay. The Ops, they're fucking useless. Nobody cares, and they're heels. It could be the Elite. I don't know, but I can't think of, like, a group of faces that would want to get behind Takeshita and have a problem with the Don Callis family for it to kind of make sense. No.
Please no. God no.
Please no.
They're the lame.
They're so fucking lame, bro.
We'll talk about them another time. But
I don't want to talk about them at all. Dude, they're so lame because where are we going to get Orange Cassidy, Roddy Strong, and fucking Eddie Kingston and Ortiz? I don't want to see that shit. I didn't bring him up running into the pre-show for a fucking reason. And Kev, I know you're back there. You called it, and I'm a little bit upset with you for that. Oh yes, my God.
I don't want Takeshita's aura being hurt by lame comedy. Because that comedy is not even cool comedy. They up here wearing these Jan Sport backpacks, looking lame as hell. I mean, they look like 12-year-olds going to 7th grade, 8th grade, however the hell you are. But anyway, yes, that the heel turn was great. I just please build on that momentum coming out of it for Takeshita, because that's an angle that's going to be worth exploring. Because how he's going to hold that belt when he got an army going after him. So the match was great, though. Great.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Aaron says I highly recommend watching some New Japan. I love their watching. See, I liked watching New Japan when Ospreay and all them were in New Japan. Like, there's nobody there that I gravitate towards. And like, if David Finlay might have been one, but he's obviously in AEW, and I think he's not going to be shit there. So Gabe Kidd was one that I gravitated towards. He's in AEW. He's not going to do shit. So they have good wrestling, but again, I don't speak
your word for it.
But the thing is, though, it's like I understand why if you don't understand Spanish, you don't want to watch Triple A. And now again, before Triple A was merged, and it was very, very Spanish only. Like I don't understand Japanese. Like I'm not gonna. Like it's a personal thing, but the matches there are probably very, very good. Like,
the only reason I don't watch New Japan is just because I don't want to experience burnout from wrestling. I watch a lot of wrestling as is,
and it's easy for us. Too much. Like right, and like I'm speaking for myself. I'm not burned out, but when you do the content creation, you don't have time to fucking, especially like what we do. We're on 7 days a week, like. We don't have time. Plus, our real lives, I don't have time to watch Japanese wrestling at 3 a.m. I would like to sometimes, but just can't make it. Hoss, the crowd kind of shifted down a little bit during this match. A little bit. It wasn't long. It was the first round in the women's bracket of the Owen Hart Cup. Mina Shirakawa versus Athena. Athena is the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. She's been very hard to beat. She's had that title for a long time. Hasn't meant anything, but there were some good near falls for Mina. She spiked Athena into the mat, hooked the arms for a 2 count. Athena was selling that left ankle injury throughout the match, and Mina worked it throughout the match, which was fine for me. Athena hit a shoulder breaker into the knee. Athena jumped off the top rope for the O-face for the pinfall. The match went about 11 minutes. Athena wins. Hoss, I'm going to let you take the floor with this because I know Mina is your girl. I know you put out a tweet out there. The floor is yours, brother.
Someone had to calm me down because I was like 4 or 5 shots in when this match came on.
That's why I wanted to start off with this one.
Yes, because I love me some Mina Shirakawa.
Yep.
I love her to the moon and back. And I want this Mina push. I want this Mina push to happen. And it just seems like that Tony Khan just keeps pulling the carpet from up under me. He's like Lucy with the football with Charlie Brown. He just keeps doing that. It just keeps doing that. And so, but this match was good. I give this match about an 8 out of 10. This is the best Mina has looked in a while because she had a dance partner that kept up with her. Like the speed never turned down. Athena was out there selling great facial cues, and she seemed like she was in trouble. You had to sell it because she's the forever champion in ROH. She's the forever champion. So if we're gonna go by that logic, she doesn't get challenged that much or taken to the limit that much down in ROH. So the story you're telling is it's a step up for Athena. And Mina Shirakawa, she may be a jobber to the stars, as you will these days, but she is a strong competitor when it comes out there in the women's division. So I enjoyed this match a lot, and that not just from the physical aspect, as you may know, but yeah, Athena with the O-face, that's one of the most over moves in wrestling today. I enjoy that a lot. Yeah. Mina got a lot of offense in the figure 4 leg lock because Athena was selling that knee a lot in the match, and Mina really tried to get to that figure 4, and it worked for a good while. And then Athena finally got the momentum and she got the win. So I predicted that she was going to win, even though I love Mina, but I don't think she's going to win the whole thing. But this was an enjoyable match. Like for people that say that AEW hasn't been highlighting women, I'm one of those people. This was a good spot to be put in. They had to follow Takeshi and Okada and that I Quit match, so there was a hard follow to do, but they didn't tail off. It was pretty good. They kept the momentum going.
I agree with you 100%, and this was pay-per-view worthy, but I'm going to be honest, with the way the women's bracket is looking up, Sky Blue versus Sariri is not a match where people in Dynamite, and I had this comment up because I want to address it, but I think this would have been a better TV. I think the Owen women should have been on TV, period. But this is a good match for Mina and Athena. You want Athena to be showcased in a big event like this because she's fucking great. And this is the best match I've seen Mina. So I liked it, especially because I think the last few weeks in those tag team matches with Willow or the singles matches, I didn't think she looked that strong. So I'm happy she got a strong showing last night. But Toni Storm's hurt. She's taking some time off. She dropped that title. We won't see her for a while. You could argue that the division suffers a little bit without at least one top star, like a Mercedes, a Britt Baker, or a Toni Storm. This was a fine match. I feel like I don't know how. Every time Mina's in like a big match, I don't really know if she's gonna really get her big win in a match like this, just based on how they've booked her, and I don't know if they see her as a champion. I'll be honest. I like Mina. I think she can work when she has the right opponent, but maybe that's why. Because I feel like for her, like look what MJF's doing with the world title. We just kind of got done talking about Darby. Like Darby isn't elevating wasn't. He was just having really good matches. MJF is going to help everybody he works with. So it's kind of that situation here in the women's division. But I think Athena could absolutely win this tournament. I know Persephone's a name there, and I know a lot of people have Alex wins there because they're in the UK and Wembley and Osprey and all that stuff. But Hoss, by last night, I wouldn't be surprised. She's going to the finals. That's not a question. But I wouldn't be surprised if she actually wins this.
The only thing I have against Athena is they just gave her the Casino Gauntlet contract last year, from All In. And I just don't – I think Tony Khan doesn't want to call her up just yet. And I don't know – I don't understand why. I can't make any sense of it because she needs to be on Dynamite every week. She needs to be on there. Also with 2 women's matches every week, but that's neither here or there. But we'll get to that when we get to that, I guess, with Tony Khan. But
9:20, you know what time is it?
Damn right. And by the way, she her injury's undisclosed.
Yeah, Anita, I honestly don't think she had a big injury. I think Toni Storm is more creatively burnt out because I know she listens to the social media because she knows her character is a movie star. So she needs to be in tune with how the people perceive her. I believe she's trying to rebrand herself. She wants to make Timeless a bigger thing and give it a more direction. And truth be told, she probably took this break because she doesn't trust Tony Khan with her character. She I believe Toni Storm is one of the few people that books herself. I believe she books herself. I believe Jon Moxley books himself, and maybe Will Ospreay. But those are the 3 people I think that book themselves. And Toni Storm does not trust Tony Khan with her character without her having the direction. So I believe she may be fully healthy. I think she's really at the drawing board right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. We'll see what happens with Athena and the women's division going forward. Maybe some surprise could happen out of it, but we'll see. Yo, weren't we supposed to get the wild card match yesterday?
They moved it. When they said when Willow came out and she
I'm just thinking about that right now.
Title.
Yeah.
When she vacated the title and she couldn't wrestle, they moved it all around. They completely moved it around. Yeah,
so that you know what? Save that for Dynamite.
Yeah,
Dynamite needs something to look forward to. That's they use it like when Johnny TV, John Morrison, Johnny Nitro, Johnny Impact. Man can't get nothing trademarked. Apparently, he needs to go hit up Jeff Lippman. Get something fucking trademarked. Holy shit, Morrison. They debuted him in the Owen before. I know a lot of people had it rumored Gargano. Like it's just again, maybe they're waiting for somebody's contract to be 90 days or whatever, or maybe they're. I got no idea. But that just came to my head. Shout out to K-Dot, man. Appreciate you for joining in the chat, brother.
And one more thing on Athena before we move on.
Yes.
if she does win the Owen and she does get the title shot, are they going to keep teasing her by keeping her in ROH, or is she going to come down to AEW? Because
she has to come up to AEW.
Because she won the Casino Gauntlet last year. That's a title shot. She lost to Toni Storm at Forbidden Door last year, if I'm correct. I think that was.
Okay. Yeah, she lost to Mercedes in the first round of the Owen too last year.
Right.
Which was a fucking banger match.
Exactly. So if she wins the Owen this year, that'll be 2 title shots at the biggest belt in the company, and you're gonna still keep her in ROH? Like that's more disrespectful than anything. Because I will say this, I don't know how the pay structure goes. Maybe she's being paid comparable to the women stars on Dynamite and Collision, maybe. I don't know how they go.
Then use her like that.
Yes.
Use her like that, because, bro, this women's division doesn't have fucking anybody. And they're pushing the wrong people. There's no way Megan Bain shouldn't be in this tournament. There's no way she shouldn't be. So I'm going to say this for a long time, until Megan Bain actually wins a singles championship or a women's world title. She needs to be somewhere. Again, a lot of these, I understand the concept, because the thing's Forbidden Door and you have all the companies and you want to have something represented for all companies. I get that. A, you don't have that in the men's division. B, there's nobody in the women's division to do it. Like, no one's hot, no one's cold. Like, I have a theory. They need Athena. They need Athena. Who cares about Ring of Honor? You know what? Put Red Velvet on Ring of Honor. Sign me and Kev's girl, Janai Kai, and put her as the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion and get her stock up, and then she could be something. Or put it on Red Velvet. We don't need Athena down there at Ring of Honor doing jack shit. So what? The Death Before Dishonor? Again, I'm going to get flamed for this. Who is watching Death Before Dishonor in a big show compared to Double or Nothing? Tony Khan, you want to improve your women's division? You have Athena win the Owen. Fuck Alex Windsor. You have Athena win the Owen. Her win the AEW championship, and she does what they did to the 24 title championship in WWE. You throw that shit in the garbage. The garbage, because that's what that title is. That's what, yeah. Go on before I say something dumb.
You're not wrong, Chris. The thing about it, when it comes to I have a theory when it comes to Megan Bain, why she hasn't been pushed for a big individual title. Megan Bain can't call a match by herself, like be the lead dancer.
Oh, I bet that she's still kind of green. Yeah, that's why I think she's still traveling and doing all this stuff. But I mean, she looks more of a wrestler than any of these fucking women do on AEW.
You are correct. The look is there.
Her presentation's there.
Chris, I can't agree with you more. The biggest thing about it is Tony Khan wants to be entertained by a woman for 20 plus minutes. And Megan Bain can't do that right now. She can't lead a match for 20 plus minutes. Now, it's the same thing with Jade Cargill. I know this is a different
but she had this problem in AEW. And I see where you're going, because she reminds me of Jade Cargill. What Jade Cargill was in AEW, she look at her presentation. I see where you're going with that.
Yeah, and that just shows you what AEW values. They want long matches. Yeah. And that's where it hurts, your younger wrestlers. That's where it hurts. Like that's why women like Tony and Mercedes are at the top of the division. That's why Athena needs to be up there too, because she's a veteran as well. So when we want different people to be pushed up to the stars, I think that's what they're doing with Willow. Like, they want to see how long she can, direct her match. And so that's why he gave her the TBS title again before he moves her up to the main event. And the same thing with the men. We're going to get to them. But that's the biggest thing with the women's division. And to go with Devin, when he said, if I was Tony Khan, what would I do to improve the women's division? I would get a woman story writer to go with my booking. Like, give me women that can write for women and have her deal with the story. You can make all of
Haas, I'm sorry to interrupt. They do have her. It's Janine Peppermill.
Well, a good one then. Someone that's actually good at their job. You know what I'm saying?
Because Mercedes brought her over from WWE, and she was supposed to be this big time writer producer that wrote over all of Mercedes' story, and she was going to boost and be a game changer to the women's division. Janine Peppermill, still on the staff there, hasn't done UGATs.
Okay.
There you go. Now we know the name. Now we know the name. I shout out to Kev, who's playing the producer role today. I appreciate that because I do not know a Janine. I'll be honest. Megan Bain just went 17 minutes and 19 seconds against Subaru. That's what I'm gonna call her, Subaru, like the car. For the IWGP Women's Title at All-Star Grand Queendom. She has no problem leading a match and going along. Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Stampede, thank you for joining us. I'm not going to disagree with you because I didn't watch that match. I'm not gonna disagree with you, but it's up to Tony Khan. Like, he's the one that's booking this. He doesn't have the confidence in Megan Bain yet to go 20 minutes with someone that may be greener than her. Or by the time that Lena Cross and her break up and they're going to have a match, he doesn't believe in it yet. I'm not saying that she can't do it, Stampede. It's on Tony Khan.
Yeah, so and Tony Khan makes, and that, again, we don't watch New Japan and the Stardom and all that stuff. So we're telling you guys from what we see on AEW because that's what we watch.
Because I feel like if you're going to, someone like Megan Bain or someone like that, they should be a sweet spot for them is between 8 to 12 minutes. If you're asking 20-minute man, who is this woman?
Who the fuck is that?
I'm scared. Who the hell is that?
Yeah, Kev,
Janine Peppermill.
You're scaring the hell out of me.
That's
dude.
Janine Peppermill. That's the writer, Janine Peppermill.
Okay,
she's scary.
Yes, she should be wrestling.
Just like the booking and the story writing from the women's division. She looks just like her. She fits perfect.
That scared the shit out of me, dude.
I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready. But yeah,
Kev's always ready, man.
By the way, she's single. With a face like that, you could tell you why.
She can open up my can of spinach with that chin. So yes, we need to get someone that Tony Khan will listen to. How about that? Maybe he doesn't listen to Peppermill. He finds a woman that he listens to and just say, "Hey, I will take care of the story. Tony, book whatever match you want. Just let me do the stories." That's what I would do if I was Tony Khan to improve the women.
I agree 100%, dude. Like kind of what Gail Kim was doing for TNA back in the day. That's literally what they could use something like that. I agree 100%. No question. But we'll see what happens with Athena because I like I said, I wouldn't mind her winning the whole thing. So we'll see. We'll move on to the next match here. The AEW Continental Championship match between Jon Moxley and Kyle O'Reilly. Again, this is one I told Haas and Kev this during the production meeting. You cut off this match and the four-way, the pay-per-view is perfect. That's why I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. I thought, again, this pay-per-view was great. I enjoyed it. But I still got to do my duties here. And I would have taken this match off, but it wasn't a bad match. There's no time limit for this match. They had after they had a 20 limit time draw their last match, which we did cover, but it was a physical, hard-hitting match, which was what you expect between Moxley and O'Reilly. They continued the story of other matches. Kyle O'Reilly was going for the submissions move on Moxley, got the ankle lock, because he's tapped out, I believe, Moxley in a tree twice to that move, right? Yeah. So he's tapped out Moxley to that move twice. So it was definitely made for a good spot there. Overall, the match was ended. Moxley wins about 18 minutes. Thought it was a fine match. Again, these two have good matches. They had a good match last week on Dynamite. Me and Haas talked about it. Wasn't sure if they were having this match at Double or Nothing. And I agree with Devin. That's kind of why I wish they weren't going to have it, because I knew, they just had it at Double. I'm so happy this fucking guy wasn't on. I'm so happy we haven't seen Tomohiro Ishii on TV on AEW for a while. Just wanted to get that out there. But that's exactly how I felt this match. But it wasn't a bad match, man. It really wasn't a bad match. They've had really good matches together. Again, I didn't care for it. I don't care for the story between these two. They shook hands of respect. Death Riders group went to the ringside. Congregation showed up to support O'Reilly. Maybe that was end to it. We had our, show the respect. We had some good matches and move on, Haas. But what did you think about that? What about the match?
Match was fine. This is where AEW people will say AEW has too many stories. This is where their argument comes into play because this match had a story, it had an angle, and the fact is Kyle O'Reilly got hurt and it got put on the shelf for a while. And when it came back to it, this is a different Moxley. Moxley's up here being a Jedi master with Will Ospreay right now. You don't know if he's a heel or a face right now. And now you bring Kyle O'Reilly back. What you got over there,
Jedi and Moxley? Jedi and Moxley? No.
That's what he is right now. He's not being the dark side, but
he's more like an Ewok.
Oh my
God. I'm gonna let you have that one, Kev. But yes, this match, the story it just suffered because I didn't care for the story. I'm pretty sure someone did. I'm glad it had a story. I'm just glad it wasn't random. So I will call that out. I will say they had a story. I didn't care for it. That's all it was. The match was fine. And then some guys just don't need to be being pushed as a singles competitor right now. Kyle O'Reilly is a fine wrestler. Kyle O'Reilly is boring as shit. It's just the truth. And that's all it is. Like he's a great technical wrestler. But when you're a technical wrestler, you better have some personality. He don't have that. And that's the problem. Yep. So when Jon Moxley is carrying the character development, that means you suck as a character. That's where we're at. And that's why they're trying to build Will Ospreay as a character, because Mox is carrying the character development. But again, the match was I give it about an 8 out of 10. I didn't fall asleep during it. I just was uninterested because the story was I don't care for the story, but the match was fine.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I really hope this is the end of their sequences, their matches. I don't want to see these two go at it again. I don't think we should have gotten them on Wednesday and tonight. This is one of the matches I still think, that should have been cut out of the show. But
I have a theory.
It wasn't bad. Yeah, go ahead.
The only reason this was on Dynamite, it was on a Double or Nothing, was because they can't bleed. They couldn't bleed. I believe they wanted Ciampa in Briscoe at Double or Nothing, and they had to switch out at the last minute. I believe that's what this was.
Okay. Yeah. No, I believe that. Anything else on this match, Hoss? We're going to hear from G Fuel, and then we're going to get into, I think, my favorite match of the night.
Before we go to commercial, I was just like, with Moxley, we're just going to be on a collision course that whenever he faces Will Ospreay, he's not going to lose a match until Will gets the belt at All In, and Moxley might be the first title defense. It would make sense if he was, if they don't go with a rematch with MJF or whoever has the belt at that time. But Moxley's going to be one of the first competitors that Will Ospreay has after he wins the belt.
I don't know why. I mean, I see that happening now because Moxley isn't in the Owen. Don't know why Moxley wasn't in the Owen.
I know why he wasn't there. He can't lose yet. He books himself, Chris. I told you this. Jon Moxley, he has the creative control they say Mercedes Moné has. Jon Moxley has.
I believe it. Trust me. I don't think you were watching AEW at this time. His feud with CM Punk proved that. When he was the interim champion, Punk comes back. Oh my God, yeah. No, I believe that. But we'll see. Because I might not like Moxley as much as I maybe did in the beginning days of AEW. He's still a main event guy for the company. He's still a name, so I give him his props there. So we'll see. But before we talk about the Owen, I agree, James. Thank you, James, for being very active in the chat today. Me and Hoss, Kev, everybody here, we appreciate it, man. We're gonna say a word. I did tell you guys we will hear from G Fuel later on in the show. We will hear from G Fuel, and then we will talk about the first round of the Owen for the men's side, Ospreay and Samoa Joe. But first, a word from G Fuel and Tom Hanford.
All right, before we keep this energy going, shout out to the sponsor of tonight's stream, G Fuel Energy. If you're watching this live, you already know. We don't do slow reactions, we don't do low energy, we stay locked in. And that's exactly what G Fuel brings to the table. Zero sugar, loaded with focus, and built for long streams just like this. Whether you're grinding, gaming, or watching chaos unfold with us, G Fuel keeps you going. Hit the link in the description, use code PGHChris, and level up your energy the same way we do on Sports Jedi Network. Let's get back to it.
I'm Tom Hannafin from TNA Wrestling. You're watching the Jedi Sports Network.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to Tom Hannafin. Shout out to G Fuel. Shout out to Dude Wipes. Shout out to Blackout Coffee. Shout out to everybody, man, on joining me and Hoss here on a Monday. Shout out to our friends at the Smoke Sessions, Maurice Shadows, DWE Nation. I want to give a shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for supporting, retweeting, liking, being here with me and Hoss on a Monday for Double or Nothing review, recap. Again, we both enjoyed it, having a fun time talking about it here with you guys and everybody. So let's keep it going, because I thought this excuse me, I like the way they started off this match. Will Ospreay versus Samoa Joe. First round of the Owen. Will Ospreay got the offense early on. Samoa Joe was still there. He went up and did his cutter. And then Joe countered a dive attempt. He tossed Will into the barricade. It looked very brutal. There was a crazy spot later on in the match where Will Ospreay hit a Styles Clash for 2. Ospreay hit hidden blade for a 2 count. Samoa Joe connected with some big shots, attacked Ospreay's neck, which has been a occurring scene in Will Ospreay matches since he's returned from injury. But Samoa Joe kicked out. Will Ospreay was seated in the ring. Will Ospreay got another hidden blade for a 2 count. They eventually, Samoa Joe sets him up for a muscle buster. Will Ospreay avoided it, hit another hidden blade for the 1. Will Ospreay hit another hidden blade for the 3 count. Will Ospreay wins the match. I mean, I said this before the show. This could maybe be the match of the night, in my opinion. But it's interesting because I think this is a good match for Ospreay and Samoa. I think Samoa Joe is one of the most legit guys in the business. It's just, again, I still feel the way I feel even more watching this match, Hoss. Samoa Joe shouldn't have lost the first round. He shouldn't have been in the first round. I understand this match was good. I love the way it started. The crowd was very hot. But again, I didn't like Samoa Joe losing in here. Take it away.
This match was tremendous to me. I like Will Ospreay when he goes against grounded pound type wrestlers. It makes him not be so flippy dippy. It makes him bring more offense to the table, and he actually has to sell. I gave that to Kev for that one. That's for you, Kev. He actually has to sell more than he has to do on the regular, because
seller.
Because Samoa Joe, he's a believable wrestler. He's not going to sit up here and give you bullshit offense. It looks like it hurts every time he hits you. He hits you with a muscle buster. That shit looks like it hurts. He hits you with chops. That shit look like it hurts. He puts you in the coquina clutch. It looks like you've been a fucking die. So yes, Will Ospreay, this was a great match for him in the first round. I hate it had to be Samoa Joe, but it serves the purpose of the story that we're selling with Will Ospreay. He said the Death Riders broke him and they rebuilt him into a different beast, a new assassin, if you will. So he has to go up here and beat guys of the ilk of Samoa Joe that make it look very believable. It was fun. I gave this match a 10 out of 10 because it showed us who the new Will Ospreay is. He didn't give us the arm bar like he did against Ace Austin, but he wasn't up here relying on just being more athletic than Samoa Joe either. He had to outthink Joe, and that was fun. Like when he countered that muscle buster, it showed you that he scouted out Samoa Joe more so than anything. So if whatever that Mox is selling to him in these training montages, it's working. I like it. I haven't been a big person for the story of Will Ospreay and the Death Riders, but the story that they're telling, it shows in the ring. I enjoyed it. So this was fun for me.
Yeah, this was fun. Again, it was. I love the way it started. I think Ospreay looked good. Samoa Joe looked good. This is a big match for both of them. I mean, I guess it was fine. I mean, we know where the ultimate goal is for, Ospreay and the Owen and all that stuff, but it's I don't know, man. I for some reason I think this match down the road could have been something more meaningful, maybe the semis, the next round. I don't know. I digress. Maybe I'm just being super picky because I fuck with both Ospreay and Samoa Joe, and I don't really think either of them should be losing. But I agree, Hoss. It was a good match, and I think I could tolerate a little bit more with like Ospreay beating Joe, the whole thing. They started because of the way Ospreay started. He knew Joe was the big man. He knew that I need to take Samoa Joe out. I got to catch him when he's not paying attention because, again, he's one of the most legit tough guys in pro wrestling. So I enjoyed that part. I enjoyed it. But anything else on this match? Because I thought they followed up with the Hoss. They followed up with the very, very good Owen match after this, Swerve versus Bandito. It wasn't. I don't think it was as good as Ospreay and Joe, but Swerve got a big win. I know a lot of people had Bandito to maybe surprise win, but it didn't happen. Big win for Swerve. I thought the match was fine. They hit a lot of frog splashes. Swerve hit a couple frog splashes, German suplexes, 21 bridge German suplexes. Bandito hit on Swerve, but Swerve kicked out of it. I mean, the match was fine, but it was a lot of suplex, Canadian destroyers, kickouts. I don't know. I've seen, again, I've seen better matches with Swerve, but big wins for Swerve. Again, this is going to be the finals of the Owen Swerve versus Ospreay. Didn't surprise me. It made a little more sense, why they started building the matches up a little bit a few weeks ago on Dynamite. So we'll see. But what you think about the second match that they did the Owen between Swerve and Bandito?
This is a very fun match. I give it about a 9 out of 10. The biggest thing about you just see the size discrepancy between Swerve and Bandito, and it made Swerve look much bigger than he is, if that makes any sense. Like the way they were wrestling, you would think Swerve was about as big as Brody King. So, but the match was very fun. And with this, I really want Bandito to be the king of the mid card now. I'm tired of him going here losing to all the main event guys. I want to see Bandito go after the TNT title or go after the international championship. Hell, maybe even the national championship, because the guy is tremendous. He's a great wrestler, and he has his downfalls. He can't give you that great of a promo, and that's not really his fault. But it's just not his first language. But that's fine. But I'm just tired of him losing to these main event guys. And I know that's a big thing for Tony Khan. He's like, man, I want to know that you can work. So go here and job to big guys. Do it for a year or two, and we'll come back to you. I don't like that model, especially when you got a star on your hands like Bandito. And it's the same thing it's my same problem I have with Mina Shirakawa, and they're doing the same thing with Ace Austin right now. Just be a good soldier, lose for me, and you'll come out bigger on the other end. They said they work for Takeshita and for Kyle Fletcher. I've seen that. Even then, it just takes too long. I don't enjoy that. But this match was fine. I'm really confused on what they're going to do with Swerve, because they say we're on a collision course for Ospreay and Swerve at Forbidden Door for the Owen. And if Ospreay wins, what are you going to do with Swerve? Like, what goes with that? I know I'm probably talking about it a little bit too early because we haven't got to the final yet, but it's kind of predictable. So what we're going to do with that, and with Bandito, I want him to be in the division that's going to have him on top more, as he should. Get him out of ROH. Yeah. Get him going go at least for the TNT or the international. Go with that.
He needs to be, because he's very good. I enjoy him. I don't think he's the best luchador on the planet, but he's very, very good. He's had a couple big matches, world championship opportunities as well. But yeah, get him out of Ring of Honor, man. I don't know. He's not bad. He's better than Rush, in my opinion. So And they've been pushing him a little bit singles on Dynamite and Collision. So why can't we get it with Bandito? I think he's better.
I mean, I want to see Bandito and Takeshita for the international title. That'd be fun.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think they had a good match before too in the past. But yeah, Swerve Strickland moves along. Again, Will Ospreay is moving along. So we both, and I think a lot of other people too, we see where the direction is heading for the finals of the Owen. So but oh sorry, that was an old one. But yes, you got the match of the night, Northern. You said this was the match of the night. This was a lot of people's match of the night. There's a lot of people's match of the night, rightfully so. So we'll see. But something that was not match of the night, Haas, was this four-way. Tekla, Akira Shida, Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander. It was a usual four-way style match here. I think Tekla, I mean, she looked the strongest. She's the champion. A lot of spider crap. I just, you know, I don't see why Jamie Hayter's really competing in a four-way match. I think, I mean, her and Windsor honestly should be doing the AEW tag team stuff. I know it doesn't mean anything. I know Windsor's in the tournament, but Jamie Hayter hasn't had that singles touch she had when she was on with Britt Baker. Yes, Tekla, Kev, Tekla. But no, like, again, this is Akira Shida. Again, she's the first AEW women's champion. She hasn't been nothing since. Her and Stat are supposed to be together. And I think Chris Statlander's stock has dropped dramatically. But basically, Tekla hit a stomp on Chris Statlander for the pin. And you know what? These ladies worked hard. It was competitive. I don't want to shit on them. I don't want to do anything with that. I think the friendship between Chris Statlander and Akira Shida was the key story of this match. But we know why, you know, they're in the match. And why couldn't Akira Shida take the pin? Why did Chris Statlander, who I think's better than all three of these women, she took the pin out of all of them? That's brutal. But Hoss, what'd you think of this match? I mean, again, this was one of the matches I wasn't paying attention too much to, just because, again, Tekla's not losing the title. No one's legit to challenge Tekla. And the story coming out of it's going to be Akira Shida and Statlander, and that's really not going to mean much because none of them has a belt. None of them really means anything. Akira Shida's not great on the mic. Chris Statlander she has a gimmick change every other month and needs people to talk for her. What's interesting here in this match? This is another reason why I won't give it a 10 out of 10, because this match wasn't there for me, Hoss.
I'm right with you. I gave it a 7 out of 10 for this match. The most interesting thing here was the whole Shida and Stat dynamic. And the thing about it, if I'm with you, it doesn't matter unless they have belts. I had Shida winning this match to legitimize her heel turn, and they keep giving us half measures for that. And that's terrible. And here, this is where the booking hurts the women. Again, I keep repeating this. Why do we keep hurting the women with bad booking? Like, what would be so bad if Shida had won tonight? And I'm not just saying that for my predictions purposes. I'm saying for storyline purposes, if she won tonight, you know, by sneaking the pin Stat or taking it right off Tekla, and she runs out of there with her kendo stick in their belt, that's a better look than having Tekla just, I outsmarted the dumb bitches. Yeah, the dumb bitches want to wrestle, and I outsmart them. That's all Tekla's doing with that. But Tekla's fine. It's okay. But you killed all momentum of Statlander and Shida. For what? For Tekla to hold the belt for whoever comes out of the Owen? I don't get it. This match should have been a triple threat match instead of a fatal four-way. Jamie Hayter had no reason to be in this match. She's already had her beef with Tekla. That should be done and over with already. Stop reheating your nachos. Stop that. And we keep with this whole Shida and Stat thing. I won't care come Wednesday. I don't care anymore because neither one of them have the belt. And you can't legitimize a heel turn now. Was she gonna hit Stat with a kendo stick and just like, okay, heel turn? No, You do it you're supposed to do it at your spectacle. Don't do it on Wednesday. Don't do it there. But that's where we're left at. The match was lukewarm. It wasn't hot. It also suffered from bad placement. This should have been probably earlier in the show. Neither here or there. 7 out of 10. They worked hard, like you said. Fine wrestling match. They looked good, but the story going into it was extinguished by bad booking.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I agree. It's I haven't looked forward to any of these women matches in AEW in a long time. It's been years. It's probably been Athena. It's since last year's Owen with Athena and Mercedes was probably the last time.
And the thing about it, if people listen to us and they don't have nuance when they listen, they think we're coming off as dismissive of the whole women's division. That is not what we're doing.
No.
We want better booking for the women. That's all we want. We want better booking overall, but the women's division suffers the most with bad booking.
Amen to that. I agree. So we'll see. Again, we talked about the Owen earlier with Athena and everybody else. So obviously the winner of that tournament will be challenging Tekla. So we'll see. We'll see. Women's division, he pushed world champ quick pass. Yeah. I mean, and when they have the last few women's champions, their reigns just haven't been that great either. Statlander, Tony Storm was really the last fine AEW world champion, if I'm being honest, Hoss. So we'll see, but let's guys, we got 2 more matches to talk about. We're gonna talk about this one, and we're gonna say hi to a new friend before we get into the main event, but we gotta talk about this before we get into that, because Hoss, I don't know what the fuck I was watching. Stadium Stampede. Are you ready to cover this shit show?
That's exactly what it was. A clusterfuck.
You had the demand in Ricochet in baseball uniforms. You had Jericho and his stooges with suits. They're gonna
come after you, Chris. You called the Hurt Syndicate Stooges.
You
called the Bucks Stooges.
Like they going to the prom.
You calling the Bucks Stooges?
Yes, they're Stooges. That was dumb. Okay, first off, I hated this. Where's Anarchy in the Arena? Look, this was not Anarchy in the Arena. Okay, Anarchy in the Arena usually has a better story behind it. It's still chaotic. Yes, there's better contenders. Fozzy isn't the only fucking music that gets played. We actually hear good music during these shows, and it feels like a violent this was just old men playing with tennis balls and fucking food fights. Shout out to our girl Janai Kai, who was a part of it. Tommy Invincible's dumbass was on the freaking thing. I never cheered more harder for Mark Davis in my life. We saw Tommy Invincible. We saw Luchasaurus in the crowd dressed as a pretty woman. This was awful. Leo Rush, Sajay Singh, whatever the fuck his name is. I mean, the best part of this, oh my God, I don't even know a best part of this. Jericho hits some sort of lion salt on Bishop Khan to win. 7 straight super kicks by the baby. 7-way super kicks from the baby faces. I'm just giving you guys moments off the top of my head that I remember, because it's going to be, we would be here for another hour just if I've told you every single thing that happened from this shit show. Hoss, what are we doing? This was terrible.
You forgot one thing, Chris.
The tennis balls, the food fight. What am I forgetting? What did I forget?
Mark Davis might be the Incredible Hulk. He got run over by a bus.
Yes, Mark Davis got ran over by a fucking bus. It was like Darby Allin in New York City, just without the cameras on. Like, this is ridiculous. This was awful. Oh my God. I'm all for Anarchy in the Arena. I thought the first Stadium Stampede sucked because it was cinematic. And I know all the diehard day one, like myself, AEW fans, oh, this is going to be Stadium Stampede. I knew this was going to be shit from the moment it was announced, because the first Stadium Stampede was shit. And again, Anarchy in the Arena it's not a difference, right? But we got last year, Swerve, Kenny, let the bodies hit the floor. It went over an hour long. It was a freaking war. And then we get 51-year-old baby faces against a bunch of fucking mid-carders that nobody gives a shit about running around a 15,000-seat stadium, tennis stadium. Backstage, half of it was filmed. This was bad. This is another reason why I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. This was bad. It was a cluster shit. I don't want to say, I think I've dropped enough F-bombs already, so I don't want to say the actual one. But it's like, bro, I like this match because it's goofy wrestling. I could appreciate some of the goofy spots. I will be honest. I could appreciate it. But this was bad. I don't appreciate 50-year-old Jerichos. I appreciate them, who they are, and the value they bring to a company that I am a fan of. But they bring no value running around a stadium playing tennis. You were beating somebody up, a fucking tennis racket. I thought Jim Cornette, he's gonna have an aneurysm on his show. He's gonna sue them for copyright infringement. Oh my God, this was bad. This was fucking bad. Hoss, I've talked enough. You go, man. This was holy shit. I couldn't keep up. Andrade's taking selfies during a stadium stampede.
Yes. Think about it, Chris. This match was handicapped by the rules of New York. We talked about New York with the lack of blood.
Thank God.
Yeah, they couldn't go into the crowd and actually stampede. They couldn't. The rain. It was raining cats and dogs outside, so they couldn't actually go outside like they wanted to and be all over the place. So they were handicapped by acts of God and rules of New York. The match was a clusterfuck amongst all clusterfucks. I mean, we had geriatric old men just doing dangerous things. I hope they reappraise their life insurance policies, because I was worried about the health of all these men. Bishop Khan getting pinned for what? Ricochet should have got pinned by Jericho with a lion salt. Make it make sense. It should have happened. All the tennis balls everywhere. Balls.
We had that already with fucking MJF too. It was getting old.
Yes, I mean, again, wrestling fans run shit into the ground. The brain rot is off the charts. But yes, this match was. I'm not going to be hard as you were on it. I was entertained, but I was also about 9 shots in. So that goes.
I was a couple dabs in as well. And look, I'm not. Yes, it was fun. I can understand that, but like again, I can't believe this is coming from me, because I love shit. I like shit like this. I'm the first. Go back and watch Double or Nothing from last year. I praised the shit out of it with on our review. Like I like it, but I don't know. Maybe the contenders didn't do it for me. That's why maybe I didn't like what was going on. Because think about it. Like I don't give a shit about Ricochet. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I do not care anything. We clown this man every Wednesday night when he grabs the mic. I don't want to see Ricochet talk. Jericho does not need to be feeling like he's my age in 2026, going out there. Oh, I feel so alive. No. Again, Shelton and MVP. Now, those guys, Shelton and Bobby. Now, Bobby looked badass in this stadium state. Like, separate away from him this shit. When you look at this and you see Bobby Lashley, I just think to myself, oh my God, poor Bobby. He should be next to fight MJF. Hell, this could be him and MJF in New York, but no. He's playing bullshit, playing tennis in baseball. Dude, I thought those baseball outfits were some of the stupidest shit I've ever seen.
They were terrible, Chris. But the whole thing about Stampede was just to get all these names on the card. That's all it was for. You want to get Kenny Omega on the card. You wanted to get Jericho on the card. You wanted to get the Hurt Syndicate on the card. That's all this was for. All of these men should be doing different things. They should be going to be for different titles. They should be heads of divisions. But we're not there. We're up here doing hijinks in New York. We're doing traps like Kevin in Home Alone 2. This is where we're at for Stadium Stampede. The match, it did what it served its purpose. It was wild, it was kooky, it was kind of stupid, but it was entertaining nonetheless. And they placed it well on the card. I actually thought
I will give him that.
Yeah,
Them place it's not like we got dude, if we would have had this Moxley versus O'Reilly and then the main event, I would have lost my shit.
I would have been happy if they started the show with this. I would have been happy if they did that. I mean, trust me, I'm over the moon. They started with Cope and Cage. And
no, I hear what you're saying though. But like, you know what I mean though, because like what was it? One of the pay-per-views, like they had something that was like a brouhaha like this. I can't remember off the top of my head. Damn, I wish I could. But then they did the War Dogs. It was the Revolution. They did something, and then they did the War Dogs and whatever versus Cassidy and Roddy and Darby, and then we had Hangman versus MJF. I'm happy they didn't do that tonight. They went from Stadium Stampede right to the main event. Boom. I like that. And again, what we talked about in the beginning of the show with the unions and the time frame that they had, I hope that had something to do with it. Probably did have something to do with it, but it was whatever. Like, yeah. Yeah, okay, so I mean, I'm happy they didn't do that. So, we'll see.
It's something with Tony Khan and trios, man. He loves his party matches, and they don't hit like they don't hit like they think in his head for some reason. They just don't hit like that. Yeah. They don't. Like, you should have, these people should be in strong singles matches. Oh no, put them in a 10-man tag. Like, no, pal, it doesn't hit like that.
No, man. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But yeah, that was Stadium Stampede. Again, let's hope we don't see. Again, I'm all for a Stadium Stampede, Anarchy in the Arena type of vibe, but give us some better contenders. We had Swerve Kenny last year, and we had the Death Riders. We used to have matches like this with MJF, FTR, Jericho when they first came in. Now it's become this, the babyface full of old timers versus the jobbers that nobody gives a shit about. Mid carders that nobody cares about. I won't call them jobbers, but mid carders.
It's just they should have called an audible when they knew it was raining like cats and dogs. They should just did Anarchy in the Arena, queued up some music, and just went from there. But
that's something I wish they would have done. I guess it's not Anarchy in the Arena, so whatever. But like last year when they did Bodies, and then they did the one last or 2 years ago too, where they had the music in the background. Oh, they had Danielson's shit in the back. I don't know. It was something about Anarchy in the Arena was.
Think about it. Think about it like this: because of the venue, a match suffered again. Back in last year, Wrestle Dream, they had to do the fish tanks with Darby and Mox because they couldn't bleed in Missouri. Was that the rule, I believe?
Well, Wrestle Dream, it was something like something like that. I forget. I don't think they were in Missouri. I forget exactly where they were. But
yeah, they were in Kansas City. Kansas City or St. Louis. I know they was in Missouri, but you should know this beforehand. You scheduled this venue months out. If you know you can't do certain things at a venue, why schedule a match like that? That's bad booking. And again, I enjoyed the show, but these are the things we point out here because the other people in the community aren't doing that. We're doing you a service, people. So don't come at us like, oh man, you're trying to shit on the show that you said you liked. No, these are the real life things because we want the next show to not be impeded because they're in bumfuck Nebraska and they can't bleed, but you want to have a first blood match in Nebraska.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
No, it makes no sense.
Yeah, we don't want that type of shit because like I said earlier, I think Ciampa and Briscoe should have been on this pay-per-view, but they couldn't have done that because they can't bleed in New York. Yeah. So yeah, if you know that already, don't have Stadium Stampede, and if you can't stampede into the fucking crowd,
there you go.
That's it.
There you go. Hoss, just read the comment.
You're probably going to get a stereo stampede of Darby, Foley, Sting, Jericho, maybe the Big Show or Danielson against some type of Death Rider collaboration.
See, sometimes I think you're part of the dark side, Kev. That is not Jedi movement. That is a force choke. That's what that is. That's force lightning you just put on us, pal.
Bro, he did it yesterday with Eddie Kingston. I literally was celebrate. I don't drink as often, Hoss, but when I send you guys that group text, oh my God, Eddie Kingston's crying, right? Dude, I wanted to take a shot just for that. And then he says that he's going to come on, and he fucking does. And I'm just like, you're not putting good things out into the world, Kev.
You're making your lightsaber bleed right now, Kev. Your crystals are bleeding. That's not green lightsaber. That's red.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get to the main event. But first, we want to introduce something else, something different. You guys, K-Dot's already announced it. We've already announced it. You guys do know we are going to be talking to Rob Van Dam. So in the next few weeks, we want to show you guys his product, his CBD product. I'm enjoying everything they got going on over there. I use products. So we're going to set up here. We're going to refresh. We're going to get ready to give our thoughts on the main event. But us at the Sports Jedi Network want you to just take a look at what the whole effing show has to say about his product.
This episode of the Sports Jedi Network and Smoke Sessions podcast is proudly promoting the Damn Good CBD, the hemp-derived wellness brand launched by WWE Hall of Famer Rob Van Dam. Whether you're recovering after the gym, trying to relax after a stressful day, or looking for better sleep recovery, Damn Good CBD has you covered with premium CBD wellness products designed for everyday performance and relaxation. We're talking recovery bundles, sleep bundles, CBD gummies, CBD plus Delta 9 gummies, exclusive RVD inspired bundles like the Rolling Thunder Recovery Bundle, the Mr. Monday Night Lights Out Sleep Bundle, the 5-Star Bundle, and the whole effing bundle. Their products are hemp-derived, federally compliant under the 2018 Farm Bill, third-party tested, manufactured in CGMP-certified facilities, and some gummies are even vegan and gluten-free. So if you're ready to chill like a champion and recover like a Hall of Famer, head right now to GoodTime.CBD.com and place your order today. And when you do, make sure you tell them you heard about it from the Sports Jedi Network and the Smoke Sessions podcast, the gold standard of true fan theory. Damn Good CBD, recovery worthy of a 5-star frog splash. From bell to bell, recovery of the Sports Jedi Network and Smoke Sessions podcast. Relax hard, recover harder.
You guys know the deal. Use that link. Go to damngoodcbd.com. Us at the Sports Jedi Network and the Smoke Sessions are in favor of the product. I'm going to try some eventually soon. I have not yet, but Rob Van Dam, he's been a pioneer in the cannabis world for a while. He probably makes a good, he probably combines all of his favorite things into one. So hopefully when we have him on soon, we'll get more information about that. I'm curious, but you guys go to damngoodcbd.com. Go check out the whole effing show. A legend, one of my favorites, Rob Van Dam. It's going to be a privilege, honor to talk to him with the Smoke Sessions and just get to know him, just talk a little bit about his background, his product. Again, go check it out at damngoodcbd.com. And tell them, just like in the song, that the Sports Jedi Network and the Smoke Sessions sent you there. Hoss.
Right now, they're taking pre-orders right now. Real quick. Yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
June 15th is when the official Damn Good CBD goes for sale. They have pre-orders for pre-order bundles. You could save and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's his startup company, but you could purchase his CBD products through other different medias. I'll definitely plug that. Put it in there on our video description. We will be interviewing him this week. The interview would probably drop either Friday or late Thursday night. I don't know exactly the time, but we're going to have it with him this Thursday, but then for the viewing audience or the general public will be either Friday or late Thursday night, depending how the editing goes and all that good stuff. I don't know how long the length of the interview is with RVD and so forth. Yes.
Thank you, Kev. Thank you, Rob Van Dam. Smoke Sessions. You guys heard the information. Kev told you guys. Make sure you guys go to Damn Good CBD. Again, everything will be up. Kev, K-Dot, they do a great job of promoting and letting you guys know what's out there and what's going on with us, our partners, our people. So thank you, Kev, for plugging that in. I appreciate it, brother. Damn Good CBD. Again, one more time, damngoodcbd.com. Tell them we, Sports Jedi Network Smoke Sessions, sent you over there. Main event time here on this Memorial Day. We'll get you guys out of here to go cook some burgers or some glizzies, whatever you guys like.
That's funny. You snuck that one in there pretty good there, Chris.
I had to, man. I had to. You know, it's Memorial Day. You don't know. I see them right now. My neighbors are outside right now cooking the glizzies up right there. So make sure you enjoy your glizzies and burgers today after the show. No, in all seriousness, guys, main event time. It was, first off, I got to give it to Kev. What's his nickname? Cheap ass Justin Roberts. Cheap ass Justin Roberts.
That guy doesn't know how to tip. If my goodness, even if he's the most hardest tipper ever, that guy's cheap. Son of a bitch is cheap. My son takes him on an Uber ride in Orlando to the airport on time with temperature controlled car. And we paid almost $7-8 in tolls, and he tips $5. Cheap bastard.
He wasn't even doing most of the fucking shows last night. I wonder if his cheap ass couldn't get his way to Double or Nothing on time, and that's why he was doing the shit right here. James, real quick, not to get off topic, but in Pennsylvania, it has been raining all weekend, and it sucks. But yeah, that was a holy shit. Anyway, main event time. First off, I want to say here, Justin Roberts, like I was saying, when MJF made him say, and he doesn't hail from the 5 bullshit boroughs, that was, again, Kev, how did you feel about that as a New Yorker?
Cheap. That's a cheap plug. I mean, 5 boroughs, you know. But meanwhile, he's the first one to run to the 5 boroughs and claim the 5 boroughs first. He doesn't claim he's from Long Island.
Beautiful Long Island. Anyway, I thought that was, I just thought it was funny because of the crowd. The crowd booed it.
I liked it. It's a zinger. I understood what he was. He was trying to go for the zinger.
And the camera, but I liked it because when you saw the camera shot and his middle, like it looked like a main event. And he was getting the, like, I don't know, the aesthetics of it.
It felt big. It felt big. It felt like, right, you know, when they do Bruce Buffer or Michael Buffer type of introductions, I got to give them credit because regardless how cheap he is, but he does know how to find a good cheap suit that makes him look good on him. He probably goes to Mo Ginsburg's or Men's Warehouse. He
definitely goes to Men's Warehouse.
Yeah, what's on the clearance rack, pal? Or Burlington Co-Factory looking for the clearance sale.
Burlington, fucking crazy.
He's at Ross.
He's at Ross for less.
Bells. Yeah. He probably lives if he lives in Florida, he goes to Bell's.
TJ Maxx.
I know what Bell's is. But no, they again, they did a good job in the pre-show setting this up. So they did a good one here. Quick little thoughts that stood out to me in some of the spots. Darby Allin quickly sent MJF out of the ring. Darby Allin did a dive. MJF removed it. Darby Allin took a nasty bump. Near the commentary table, MJF hit a powerbomb on the ring apron. He launched Darby onto the air and hit a cutter for the 2 count. They started doing a couple other things. I like the beginning of the match there, but they did some cool stuff towards the end. MJF managed to power out of a scorpion lock that Darby was in. Darby Allin collapsed to the max as the announcer speculated that he had nothing left. MJ smiled, picked up Darby, went in for a headlock. Darby tried to go back to another scorpion death drop. MJF applied a sedlock takeover for the 1-2-3. Darby Allin is MJF is now again your AEW World Champion. Sorry, I was reading an email, kind of got distracted there. But MJF, Hoss, we talked about this a lot, man. You were very adamant that MJF was going to lose. that Darby was going to retain, that he was going to shave his hair. But again, this was a main event match. This was a good main event match. Last time we're going to see Darby in the main event for a long time, in my opinion. I don't think they extend this. They're not going to keep going with this. MJF will probably fight some jobber from New Japan or somebody at the Forbidden Door. MJF did a good job. Again, the camera guy, where Darby Allin collapsed into the camera guy, I thought that was hilarious as well. MJF kissing the mic or the camera when he wins. I'm not going to talk about what happened after the match. We're going to talk about this match right now. Hoss, take it away. I know I sounded all over the place there, just reading some few things I took notice while I was watching the show live. Again, I was some dabs in. So, what did you think about the main event? I enjoyed it. Again, and it was the right decision at the end of the day. I know it was maybe missing that moment that some of us might want to see, including yourself. But if you're looking long term, I think they made the right decision. I just thought it was a good match. Good main event for the company.
The match was great. I give it a 9.5 out of 10. It was very good. The best spot to me of the night was when Darby jumped off the scaffolding
and hit the coffin drop. Yep.
He hit the coffin drop for the table. That's when he started bleeding.
Yeah, in the back of his head like that. You could see it too, because he has that bald sides, and you saw. Yeah, that was brutal. That was brutal. Go ahead.
That led it. Leading up to that, MJF was going for the Clippers and everything. So bring that whole title versus hair aesthetic into this match. Don't make people fall asleep on that whole stipulation here. Bring those Clippers out, and it was fun. And like I say, I would have gave the pay-per-view a 10 out of 10 if MJF would have had to shave his head. I believe a call was made. MJF might have called and just say, Tony, I would do this for the company, but they say my hair ain't gonna grow back like it should. Like, I don't care how much money you give me, I cannot shave my hair right now. I believe that's what the call was. I'm willing to think that MJF would have really shaved his head.
He wants to be an actor, bro.
Yeah, if he could grow that hair back like it should have, he would have done it. I believe that. But I don't think whatever hair plugs or surgery that he did, it ain't gonna grow back in fully like he wanted to. So I think that's the only reason we didn't have that. But I'm a pseudo sicko. I can't say I'm a full out sicko just yet. I feel like Tony Khan failed us with this one, because if he would have shaved his head, we would have got the moment for all moments for Double or Nothing. But MJF winning was best for business. Hopefully they can capitalize on the momentum, like we said earlier, get those ratings back up to about maybe 750 to 800,000. I know people be like, why do you care about ratings and be a fan? And don't, if I'm on one of the only people out there that matters, I hear you. I hear you, people. I understand. But we want this place to thrive. And I know Tony Khan has deep pockets, but my whole thing is, I want this company to actually make WWE sweat. I don't want it to be a theory. I don't want it to be a hypothetical. If AEW comes up here and they get those ratings up to 1 million people again, WWE is going to be fucking sweating, because truthfully be told, AEW is the better wrestling product right now. I'm not just saying it. Andreas Hale is saying it, and he works for ESPN, and they mute his coverage because he says that shit. But yes, if we could really make that happen, man, we can get wrestling back to where it needs to be, and that's my whole thing with that. But yeah, the match was great. It was enjoyable, and rest in peace to the Darby Allin title run. Some people call it generational. Some people say we're going to be talking about it for years to come.
No, we're not.
I don't agree with these mad people.
I can respect it. I can respect Darby's reign.
I can respect
as a day one guy, as somebody who's gravitated me towards AEW in the early days. Look, I can respect the whole fighting champion there. He defended it how many times? Like, again, the matches didn't mean anything, but the matches were very good. He did not have a single bad match. And when the story or the match that he did drop it to had a big story. He got the main event, the second biggest gate in the company's history in the United States, with All in Texas being last year, in a hot New York stadium. I can't knock Darby Allin. I gotta respect that. Again, the reign wasn't enjoyable because the title just felt. I didn't like his whole thing where everybody deserves a shot at this title. Like, I don't like that. I disagree with that 100%. Not everybody does. That's why MJF being the world champion is on TV, not just for business. It looks better on TV. It makes the AEW championship look important. Like, when he says no, like, you're not gonna, okay, whatever, you gotta do. So, like, Darby is just like, yeah, come, let's go. Like, does that make sense? Like, I didn't like that about. That's the only complaint I had about Darby's reign. The matches were good. Again, I can respect it. Nothing bad. It's just his whole concept of what his reign was about, and his reign was about everybody deserves a shot at the title. No, I disagree with that 100%.
Yes. Go ahead, Kev.
The era of the pendejos.
Está bien pendejo. Bien pendejo.
To this, like,
it is,
and I know we use that term a lot, but you have main event players, you have mid carders, you have lower mid carders, you have comedy people. We cannot have people like Pockets come challenge for the AEW World Championship. We
were Hoss. If we would have had that, why does he look like me? That's so fucking creepy.
We can't have Wheeler Yuta up here challenging.
Dude, if we would have gotten Orange Cassidy versus Darby Allin, I was canceling the review.
That's not Anja Chris.
I told you, if that clown becomes the world champion, I will put the denim jacket and the glasses for a stream.
Like, brother, we're getting like, that's like if we have Danhausen beat Roman Reigns for the title.
Dude, like, oh my god!
Yeah.
But
yeah, we can't have stuff like that.
No, we can't. We can't have that. We can't have that.
But
I didn't.
But
like
I will
that.
say this. But I will say this about Darby Allin. I did gain a little more respect for him. I will say that. I do not just consider him as the big glorified crash test dummy anymore. He is still a crash test dummy, but he is a fine wrestler. He won me over with that. But
he can win you over with his moments and his personality, and like Mick Foley, like you could tell what Mick Foley was saying to him, like, hit him, and he got excited. Like, he's great, man. He's just he's too much of a crash dummy, but he's good when he wants to be, man.
It's just, if he's properly booked, I can take him as world champion again. I could do that, but you just cannot be having him go against. I'm gonna say it. He can't be going against jobbers with the title on his hand.
I agree.
You cannot have this. And if you think you could pick whoever you want out of that list that he had, more than half of them are jobbers. I don't care what you say. It's a fact.
Yeah.
So
Pac's a jobber.
Yes. And I like Pac. I like him.
So do I.
I enjoy him. Tommaso Ciampa, he's a jobber as well. I enjoy him, though. That's fine. Brody King, they try to make him into a main event player, but he's not. He's not. It's just Sammy Guevara is an ROH. That speaks for itself. That's just it. Yeah. So, shout out to Samurai. Say, what about
Roosh?
Yes.
What about Roosh on Wednesday? Stop.
I don't know what this Roosh push is. We'll probably get to that on Wednesday.
Yes.
But we
don't need it. I'm just fucking with you, Samurai. I just don't like. I don't like to see in action.
You get the horn.
There you go. That's the Mortos. That is the Mortos too.
Well, we don't come at Frank the lawyer right now. He gave the horns to Mercedes, and Mercedes might be in labor soon. We don't know.
Anyway,
that might be why we don't see her. Allegedly, maybe so.
You don't want Frank saying this.
But this match was fine. And
no, this was a great main event. I loved it. Again,
I enjoyed it. I really did.
Hoss, your boy. We talk about your boy. I wanted to save that for last. Talk about your boy, Kevin fucking Knight.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Start off with it. That's your boy. That's your favorite. Hoss, take the floor.
Yeah, the Jet is one of my favorite faces on this show. He had a heel turn last night. He gave the UFO splash to Darby, who was on a stretcher. So what's the direction here, Tony Khan? Are we gonna have Darby Allin go after the TNT title after just losing the AEW World Championship? Doesn't make any fucking sense. No Speedball. The time where we need to see Speedball barefoot, he was nowhere to be seen, because this heel turn from Kevin Knight, it needed to be addressed by Speedball barefoot, because you're attacking a man on a stretcher. Doesn't make any sense. But and again, for a heel turn to use a very face move as a UFO splash. That's not a move a heel uses. Maybe I'm too old school for that, but you should be changing your move set if you're going evil. It don't have to be dick shots and belt shots like John Cena, but you're supposed to change your aesthetic up a little bit. He's not going to do it. He's going to be the same cool character as he's supposed to be, but it doesn't make sense. Tony Khan unless he probably aligns with Swerve or somebody, that's the only way this can make sense. Or maybe he kicks out Anthony Bowens and joins the Ops or something. I don't know.
I hope not.
But I hope not either.
So
go ahead.
No, go ahead. I want you to finish.
The whole thing is Kevin Knight already had a lack of direction. Now you're going into the damn abyss. Where the fuck are we going with Kevin Knight? Because you finally propped him up. Now we have no clue where he's going. Go, Chris. Go ahead.
Okay, so I don't want to sound like a sicko or certain someone but I like this and I agree with you to certain things, right? Let's talk about who he turned heel on. It would have made more sense for his heel turn to be on Speedball. I think we could both agree on that, right? Like I agree with you that didn't make sense. The move, that's not a very. I agree with that. The reason why I personally liked that, again, now that we really talk about it, I understand what you're saying, but I'm talking about watching it last night at 12:15 at midnight. I liked it for the simple fact that when I saw Kevin Knight standing up on the thing, I just thought he was like, I'm coming for MJF again. I'm thinking to myself, Hoss, no, we're getting another MJF and fucking Kevin Knight match on Dynamite. Like, it's happening. I'm like, no, they're setting this up. Kevin Knight's coming by Darby. So, like, the fact that he even did that, it got me by surprise. Mm-hmm. Like, I knew the heel turn was coming. They've planted this seed for weeks. If you watch Dynamite, I've even seen some of the little highlights on Collision when I'm bored. Because Sundays are boring as fuck without NFL. I have been itching and scratching without football when there's no wrestling on Sundays. And thank God for the NBA recently, right? Like, and the Pirates are garbage, so I don't watch baseball. Like, I itch. So I watch a little bit of Collision, and they've been setting this up. But they've been setting it up more for Speedball. They've been setting up Kevin Knight to turn heel. So the fact that he even did that, just watching it in the moment, Hoss caught me by a genuine surprise. I was like, oh, like, I actually liked it because you saw MJF like, like, yes, like, Kevin Knight's finally listening to me, because they've said that before. He said it to Kevin Knight when they had their championship match. Why are you hanging around with Speedball and all these guys? And to me, that means, like, again, I might sound like such a fucking sicko right now, and I hate the way I'm even saying it, because I agree with it most of the time, most with you on this for most of the part of it, but does that make sense? Like, just the fact that he genuinely caught me by a surprise. Like, it should have been on Speedball, but Darby is a big face. He has been helping him the past few weeks. He has been saying on AEW TV he wants Darby to shave him bald. Like, does that make sense in the moment? I felt like it was a genuine surprise. And MJF laughing and kind of endorsing it, I liked it.
I get where you're going with that. I really do. But again, for storyline purposes,
right?
It confuses Darby Allin's trajectory because it's a lateral move, if not a backwards move. He should be still up there with main event players, and you're gonna go dabble in the muck with a heel Kevin Knight to do what? Are you gonna take his title? And we've already had Darby as a TNT champion. What's the point of him getting it again? So
I agree.
That makes no sense. And you supposed to give some more depth to Speedball by this heel turn. Do you know how captured the crowd would be if Speedball got his ass beat?
Yes. If that was Speedball on the getting railed out, like on the pause, like if that
was crazy. Hey, yo.
That's a fucking clip. Anyway, if that was Mike Speedball Bailey on the stretcher, getting wheeled out by the ambulance, and Kevin Knight would have done that, yes, it would have hit a lot. Like I trust me, I agree with you. I'm just talking about in the moment, watching it at 12:15. Like, but the only thing I could see coming out of it now, it's like the Speedball. They have to start the fucking show on Dynamite with that. Kevin Knight has to speak. I'm sick and tired of all these moments happening in AEW when Will Ospreay comes back and all this shit, and we don't hear from them. Swerve Strickland comes back, we don't hear from them. We see them in matches. Can we please have Kevin Knight and have the MJ? If you want to, MJF should start the show because people are gonna say that, right? If that's the case, have MJF come out there and have him endorse Kevin Knight, as a new heel. Make him legit. Kevin Knight and MJ. I'm not saying pair them together, but kind of like what Moxley's becoming for Ospreay. You could do that a little bit. Maybe have him introduce to the Hurt Syndicate. I know they're not really in a working relationship. Maybe the Callis family, which I hope fucking not. But MJF has heel ties with a lot of these managers, so maybe he could put in a word. Like, they could do something with this, or they could have. Again, please don't save it for Collision, because Clash of Italy is Saturday. I don't want to watch that and Collision. I just want to watch Clash of Italy next week. So they better not do it on Collision for selfish reasons, and have Kevin Knight do something and say something there. Have him come out on Dynamite and speak. And speak about that, speak about why he did what he did. And then I'm just telling you on how I think they could do it now, because I agree. If they would have done this on Speedball initially, it would have been made sense. Boom, you have them say something to each other on Dynamite. The Speedball come out there. Why did you do what you did? Bam. We have Kevin Knight attack Speedball, and then we get a real feud between those two for the TNT title. We don't see Darby Allin for a few weeks or a few months, and then he comes back and interferes. Bam. I'm just thinking of a way how they can make it make sense at this point, because I do agree that the initial heel turn should have been on Speedball. But maybe they could work that in now, because didn't we see Speedball come out when wasn't that him when he came out? Kevin Knight, when he did the splash, he got up and he's getting booed, and the camera showed him right before they showed the credits. I think you can see Speedball going to check on Darby. Again, it looked like, because they all had that weird ass mullet, so it might not have been him. But Hoss, what if they went off the air last night with Speedball going to check on Darby, and he looked at Kevin Knight face to face, like, "What the fuck? What are you doing?" Like, and then he attacks Speedball, and then now they're Darby and Speedball on the same night. Like, they could have done this differently, even if they wanted to do it the way with Darby. They could have had Speedball come out there and try to be like, "What are you doing? Whoa, whoa, whoa!" And then he gets his ass kicked.
Man, it's a lot.
Does that make sense? That would have been better.
It makes sense. The whole thing about we've been asking this out of Tony Khan for so much. We're gonna need a strong follow-up Dynamite, and I have no expectations.
I have no confidence.
And the thing about it is, this heel turn would have hit so hard if you would have just came on Dynamite and just said, no, he didn't attack Darby from last night. You had Kevin Knight versus Speedball in the main event for the TNT Championship. They had a great match in the main event, and then Kevin Knight just turns on him after he pins Speedball. That would have been that's a great cliffhanger for a Dynamite episode. But no, we're gonna sit around and play around on Sunday, have him attack Darby, and be like, "Where's this gonna go?"
Sunday. Oh, Clash is on Sunday.
Yeah, Clash on Sunday. At 2:00 your
2
time.
p.m. 1 o'clock Central. It's Sunday.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's very interesting.
It's
1
rare.
o'clock on
I know.
Sunday. That fucks up my Sunday salmon dinner. Damn. I'm gonna.
Yeah,
no, that's interesting. Anyway, go ahead, Hall. Sorry, I didn't know Clash was on a Sunday.
No problem. But this Dynamite is going to be very crucial. It cannot just be an overload. It cannot be an overload of wrestling, because we got so many angles coming out of Double or Nothing that have to be addressed, and we only have 2 hours to do it.
No, we don't.
Oh, it's a 3-hour block again? Okay, even better. Even though I will not be watching Collision.
No, we're not going to be watching that. We'll be going live after Dynamite's over.
Yeah, but even better, you have the time to sit up here and address every narrative that came out of Double or Nothing with fine wrestling. Do not go that. Do not give us a 10-match card and be like, oh, we're only going to address 2 angles. But don't do that. You're insulting the intelligence of the people that sit up here and give you the time every week to watch these shows. They give you the money to watch these shows. You must address these angles that came out of here, and they better make fucking sense. But that's where I'm leaving it at. I do not agree with the heel turn happening on Darby Allin last night. It should have been executed better. Now it's a whole lot of questions.
Yeah.
And AEW does not do a fine job of answering questions.
No, not at all. They don't do a good job of following up Dynamites for their pay-per-views. And they don't do a good job of go-home shows either. Like I said before, and they're going to be sort of in my neck of the woods this Wednesday. They'll be in Philadelphia, which is about an hour and 15, hour and 20 away from where I actually am. So, I mean, it should be a fun show. They're not at the ECW arena. They're at Temple University. So the same building they did Dynasty 2020, the last Dynasty last year.
Okay.
Because I was watching it outside some venues. This isn't Vegas, and they don't block watch parties outside the Philly area. So I was there. I didn't go inside the building. I could have, but the show sucked. So I'm happy I didn't. But anyway, long story short, yes, Hoss is right. Like, they have enough time on this show Wednesday to address everything they have to. And we got that on less than 24 hours ago with all the overload wrestling. Like, again, I said this in my opening monologue. When I watch these pay-per-views and I watch the weekly shows, it feels like two different things. It feels like one person's in charge of the fucking pay-per-views, one person in charge of weekly TV. I need the same person in charge of both.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing? And I know it's Tony, but like, I want to ask, and Kev, please jump in. Why can't Tony Khan book the fucking weekly shows the way he does his pay-per-views? He clearly shows he can put on an entertaining pay-per-view. Why can't he do the same on his weekly TV shows? Kev, I want you to answer the question first.
I think the follow-up to the pay-per-view is that a lot of the talents go real long and they're banged up and hurt. Then they have to travel to the other city where Dynamite is, traveling with a banged-up body, either bruise, deep tissue bruises. They won't be able to perform or go at full speed on a Wednesday night following. That's why the follow-ups always lag. The match, a lot, and you also tend to get a little bit of repeat matches with a lot of people who are banged up or can't go. And then you get a lot of wrestlers that it hasn't been seen on television, or you get the Manny Lowe's or the Cody Chang's matches, and you're like, damn, what the hell is this? Because of the recovery time of these wrestlers to get back in the ring in a couple days after the pay-per-views, and then going all hours of the night at 1 a.m. They're not leaving these stadiums at 1. They're probably showering, meetings, dinner, post show, and then they're leaving, and then they have to travel. So all those that is taken into consideration. I think that's why the follow-up shows, in my opinion, lack hard.
Hoss, any follow-up on that?
I believe the talent bails out the booking a lot in AEW. Like a lot of these guys, they can really go up here and have great wrestling matches, regardless of how bad the booking is. And with the pay-per-views, you're more bought in, so you have a different wavelength when you're paying attention to the pay-per-views than you do the weekly television, if that makes sense. You got more skin in the game because you have paid your premium price to watch, so you're more invested. When it comes to the weekly television, Tony Khan, I think he gives a lot more free reign to his wrestlers. They go up there and just wrestle great. My booking, most of our sickos don't care about the booking. Just go out there and have great wrestling. They won't care about a lot of things here or there, the minutia of what's going on in the TV show. They just want to see the grabs. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong there, because only certain people like us who critique these shows on a daily basis, we're the ones that actually see those type of things. The sickos, they want to see their favorite wrestlers, which coincidentally they like every wrestler on the roster. I don't know how the hell they do it. I only really care about 4 or 5 people on the roster. Now, about 10 or 15 are cool to me. There's no way I can go up here and watch every wrestling match. It's like, oh man, I enjoyed myself on Dynamite this week. Half these people I don't care about. But again, that goes to the bad booking. I can't sit up here and be up here saying, oh man, I like the way this person does a suplex. He does his suplex better than him. She does her leg lock better than her. No, that's not how I watch wrestling. That's probably how Tony Khan and a lot of sickos watch wrestling. But that's neither here or there. But yeah, the talent bails out Tony Khan more so than anything.
Yeah, man, it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame because, like I said, we're gonna Wednesdays. I sound like a broken record for sure because I know for the last year, me and Kev have always. How are they gonna follow up? It sounds like it sucks because again, I can't stress it enough. The pay-per-views, I don't understand why this can't translate into weekly television. It's ridiculous. And again, we're gonna ask this question right now. I'm gonna ask myself the question. Chris, are they following up Wednesday? No. They're in Philadelphia. They're gonna want to do ECW tribute matches. We have a whole extra hour of Collision. Nobody I don't see it.
Chris, we just had a whole pay-per-view with no blood. You think we're gonna have a lot of blood on Wednesday night?
Oh yeah.
You better believe that, bro. I mean, get the blood transfusions ready. We might have plasma donations coming out from this. Just get ready, brother. It's gonna be like a mass unit. It's gonna be crazy, and we're not gonna have I go into it with no expectations because I had the same question. Had the same question for Revolution. Revolution was a strong ass pay-per-view. And the follow-up was just a wrestling show. Just a wrestling.
Same thing with Dynasty.
Yeah.
I'll say there's a saving grace. There's a saving grace that the ratings might be really good and people might tune in. And it's happening tonight. If New York Knicks close out and there is no game 5, they're going to have a lot of rate. I'm not saying a lot of Knicks fans are AEW fans, but basketball eyeballs to watch. Even if I don't want to watch this wrestling, I'm going to watch the game 5 because Knicks are going to make history. They're going to go to the NBA Finals on Wednesday night to clinch. If they clinch tonight, you're going to get more ratings because it is an historic opportunity that the Knicks are going to do in 26 years. So I know the wrestling world don't revolve around the Knicks basketball, but I'm talking about something when there's history being made or something that hasn't done in quite a long time. Like there is that curiosity that people don't want to tune in and watch that basketball game. So if you're an AEW sicko, you're rooting hard for the Knicks to close out tonight.
Yeah, and look, I'm a sports fan. I haven't checked out much baskall, but I'll be honest, I tell Hoss this all the time. I pay attention to Dynamite and I watch it because I want to give you guys the best review show we possibly can. But I would be lying to you because I have YouTube TV. I have the double. I want to watch Victor Wembanyama in the fucking playoffs versus Shea. I'm curious. In the Knicks, again, they're gonna possibly go to the NBA Finals for the first time in a long time. A lot of people either like the Knicks or they want to see him get fucking destroyed. So you're gonna be curious. It's one of those things. Either way, you're tuning in if you're a sports fan. So.
Can we say there's actually a better storyline even in the Knicks basketball playoffs than WWE and AEW?
Because the Knicks actually can follow up.
But here's the thing: you got college roommates in the Villanova connection trying to get to the NBA Finals, something that they did in college, and something that the Knicks in general in 26 years hasn't done, going back to the NBA Finals. And then you have Victor Wembanyama trying to take the league by storm. And say that he has arrived as a big mega star in the NBA, and you got SGH who's trying to repeat as world champion. Could the small engine OKC? So there's actually more storyline in the NBA playoffs than all across professional wrestling.
I agree 100%.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. No, that's a fact, dude. That again, the 4 teams they have in the NBA conference finals. I mean, Cleveland's obviously been a disappointment, but it's been, again, more storyline, more action going on.
Chris, even that, knock on wood, but imagine Cleveland makes this and they come back down 0-3. What a story. All the storylines you said, even every 4 teams have better storyline that's going on in all of wrestling.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Because James Harden's a big storyline with Cleveland because he's a playoff.
The ultimate quitter. The
So
ultimate
exactly,
quitter.
he's a big playoff bust, and
this is a damn shame because wrestling is scripted. There's no reason that real sports has better storylines than something that you actually focus on making every week. Don't make no damn sense. Because I'm dead serious. You got writers, you got people that sit up here. This is their profession, and they can't write a narrative better than what real sports got going on right now.
nope,
That's
it's a damn shame. It is a damn shame.
I'm gonna come on camera for one thing. I'm on.
Yes, go ahead, because we're after you give.
I know we're about to
closing
statements
and go ahead, do whatever you.
want to say this. Right after this show, I believe the smoking sessions will be coming on live. They're going to do a show recapping and previewing the Spurs recap and previewing the basketball game. Also, on the smoking session last week, Thursday, after when a report where Ludwig Kaiser was Wednesday, you guys said it when it happened. Everybody mentioned it. They got K-Dot and the guys from the smoke session had some information. They were reporting the ramifications of Ludwig Kaiser's, what was going to happen with the WWE. They mentioned it. They had one of the first ones to get inside story and let them know about that. Now people are copy and pasting and taking it as their own, with a lot of false credit reporting. The guys want to break in that, so I advise you to go and listen from the horse's mouth. They're about to roll up and get into business. So please, after we're done from the live stream here on the AEW post show, head to the smoking sessions. I need you guys to listen from the horse's mouth there, because this shit's got to stop when people, trying to take credit for stuff that's being reported on the Sports Jedi Network, like the Jack Cartwheel news. Thank God we got credit, but other people want to take false credit. So I just wanted to bring that up there. You guys, great job there. So of course, I got the guys back. Let's go.
We all do. No, we all do. We appreciate that. Again, we're gonna give closing statements. I want to give the smoke sessions the respect they deserve to stand on business, because look, smoke sessions, they're with us now, and we're gonna stand on business for them. Like we've been standing on business for the past fucking how knows how long. How many times have me and Kev have said stuff, interviewed people, and people take it and run with it like we've never said it or done it first. I'm sick of it. When TNA and Slammiversary, the whole Carlos Silva thing, we thank God the Jack Cartwheel, we actually got our credit, but it's ridiculous. Give the people the credit. And there again, we're behind the smoke sessions. I'm behind the smoke sessions because if they did it first and the evidence is out there, you could at least say reported by Smoke Sessions podcast. So go check out K Dot and Nap, or K Dot. He's gonna go. He's gonna say what he has to say, and I can't wait for it, because again, it's very annoying. It's very annoying. I could go on and on and on about this. I have already. I'm gonna sound like a broken record. Let's give our final AEW Double or Nothing goodbyes and a review. Hoss, thank you for joining. It was a fun show. Kev, thank you for being here backstage helping with the production. Appreciate it, man. Double or Nothing was a fun show. I enjoyed it. I got my $50 worth. I thought they started off hot. Again, we nitpicked everything these last 2.5 hours, so go check that out. Couple matches you could have cut off. I think they still ended past midnight. They could still work on their pay-per-view timing, but wasn't as late as, usual. MJF's back with the world title. Business could be better. I really thought it was a fun show on a Sunday night that we don't have to go to work Memorial Day. If you have that option, most people don't have to go. So I thought AEW cooked. I thought this was one of the funnest wrestling shows I've watched all year, period. I had fun. I mean, some of the spots were corny and yes, all that, but again, I was off my chair for a few times. I don't remember a last wrestling show, even live, when the watch alongs, that I've gotten out of my chair and Jenny was like, oh my, like 1 or 2 times happened last night. And that's 1 or 2 times more than I've gotten all year throughout the course of professional wrestling. Bravo to AEW. Bravo to Tony Khan. The pay-per-view game for them is still strong. We're still halfway through the year, so show of the year. You could agree with that since we're halfway, but there's still some shows coming up for all companies. We got Slammiversary, Bound for Glory. SummerSlam, Wembley. We got a lot of things going on. But yes, so far, that was my favorite. But I liked it. 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10. Got my $50 worth. Kev, let's start off with you. Give me your final thoughts. I know you listened to us. I know you saw some stuff. Maybe you watched a little bit. Final thoughts on AEW Double or Nothing.
No, it was a good one, like you said, for the placement where it was on the Memorial Day weekend. You don't have to stay. If you stay up late, a lot of 80% of the people are off today. You know, they could have stayed and enjoyed it without really rushing. Like, oh my God, 1 a.m. Which one? I'm got to go to sleep and I got to get up early. You don't have that anxiety, so you could really enjoy. It was an enjoyable watch. The matches you mentioned, how you guys broke everything down. I'm going to ask this to Chris, though. I'm going to ask this one here because we've seen the crowd, and a lot of people are going bananas with the crowd. Like, I know Mike Johnson mentioned something there, and I said, I guess you weren't in Slammiversary. No, but the point is it's not pointing about companies. It's pointing about the region, the city. New York, the UBS Arena is what? Maybe 10 miles difference from where the Louis Armstrong, the New York Mets area there.
Yeah, if a lot of them are going to JFK,
it's not far. It's not far because UBS Arena is on the borderline of Nassau County and Queens. To me, the crowds felt the same. If you look at the sea of Puerto Rican flags that were there at Slammiversary, and again, what a hell of a crowd. They made the show. They were the MVP of the show on Louis Armstrong Arena. The crowd was great. The matches weren't disappointing. They were very fun. They had all different things. They had the plunder match with the stadium Stampede, or the Anarch Arena, whatever one that was called. And of course the main event. Right or wrong or indifference, MJF is the right guy to hold that title. We'll see where, like you said, the follow up. But all in all, yeah, I could say that's an 8 out of 10. Okay. I know people said no commercials, but it's a pay-per-view. Tony Khan doesn't give you pay-per-view. It's a different watch, a different viewing. And if they would just cut it by maybe 1 or 2 matches, or not a lot of redundant repeat matches, you would have had something that like Haas likes to say, booking away from overtaking SmackDown. Right now, you're taking the premium live event pay-per-view moniker, and they have a check on their side. Because people are tired of the commercial ads and the plunder and like, look, Clash of Italy is going to have the freaking 1 hour on ESPN. That's going to get ridden with commercials, no matter who the hell they put on it. So but this is a good thing because now it forces at least WWE Creative to be more creative and do something because you don't want the tip of balance to move over All Elite Wrestling's time, especially when they have a delusions that they're trying to get a television deal over $100 million. So Tony's going to have to put his first foot forward to try to get a 3-figure $100 million plus deal, which it's not out there, but in his mind, he thinks he has to, but doesn't stop him to put it on a show to get that kind of money or asking price. So it's a fun part. If you're an AEW fan, you like the resurgence and the strike back ability that the company has.
Yeah, that's well said. Well said. I couldn't agree more. Haas, final thoughts on AEW Dynamite. You got the closing floor. Take it away before we say goodbye.
9 out of 10 show for me. I enjoyed it through and through. The biggest thing is going to be the follow-up. I know we always say this after AEW pay-per-views. Don't get your hopes up, but if they do knock it out the park, this could be the momentum that this company needs. Every match delivered, the talent over-delivered. And I can't put this show over any more than I already have. So I got my money's worth. I hope everyone else got their money's worth. And hopefully we got new fans coming over to this side that will watch wrestling from Monday nights and they come back on Wednesday and Saturday. Great show.
I agree. Chat, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to say thank you for joining us here on a Memorial Day Monday for your AEW Double or Nothing recap. I want to thank everybody in the chat. James, Samurai, Aaron, Napgod, K. Northern, and I don't want to butcher her name again. Anita, thank you. Me, Haas, and Kev appreciate all of you. Elliot as well. I did see Elliot in there. Thank you guys so much for joining us on a Memorial Day. We will be live for AEW Dynamite on Wednesday. Me and Haas will cover the aftermath of Double or Nothing. Don't forget, like Kev said, the smoke sessions will be going live right after this. So make sure you guys go check them out. And as well as New York Knicks tonight in the NBA playoffs, Kev will be doing the watch along play-by-play. Tonight, the Knicks could go to the finals. So Kev, good luck. Hopefully the Knicks could get the job done. I'm rooting for you. I'm going to be watching, especially if it's a close one, to see your reactions. But fellas, thank you guys. Hoss, again, thank you. Kev, thank you. This has been the Sports Jedi Network. This has been PGHChris, Hoss Knuckelbrew, BX Sports Jedi Kev, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.